Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Carried to center by Joel Armia. You can see it, the skill there through the legs for Deveney. Deveney has it. Deveney circles it front. Scores! It'll give it go. A pass and score! That is to break it on an absolute thing of beauty. What a play by Kane to set him up. Yastrzemski to deep right field. Castellanos watches. Gone!
On a ball, right center field. That has carry. And that ball's going to get out. Home run to right center off the bat of Junior Caminero. And he gets another one out tonight. It's number 4 on the year.
High fly ball, right center field. Isbell on the run, on the track, at the wall, leaps, see ya! A home run for Chisholm, game tied at 1. High drive, right field. Turning and looking is Biggio. See ya! A long home run for Grisham, his 4th of the year, and the Yankees lead 2-1. High fly ball, right field, Biggio back. See ya! Home run for Rice, and the Yankees lead 3-1.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
What a bunch of tomfoolery.
Oh, just having a great morning so far.
I don't understand, but that's okay. It's kind of sometimes, I don't know about your household, but sometimes when you can't clean up after yourselves at home, you certainly aren't going to clean up after yourself at somebody else's home.
No, certainly not.
Just be more considerate.
Why would we do that?
I don't know.
It's not like everything we do is based off this little box back here that runs the internet.
Heaven forbid it's the right thing to do.
I mean, why would we even bother with that? That seems
Do you
silly.
think they still teach people to leave it how you found it? Or do you just get the heck out of here?
Do we need to, can we hire Coach Rhule to do like a seminar to be like, hey, let's leave it better than we found it?
No, he's on one. We're going to leave him alone.
We're going to leave him alone?
Nah, yeah, he's on one.
Well, good news, the TVs aren't working either.
So I mean, his we'll fix it. I'm not gonna panic. I tell myself, it's a lot of foolishness out here. You got to be the rudder that straightens this ship out. Let everybody else be the wayward son.
Like, who? Al Rudder? Is that a guy?
Al Roker is.
Al Roker.
The guy with the real skinny neck and the loose skin because he lost all that weight.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
Did you say Al Leiter?
Al Rudder.
Oh.
No, Al Leiter's a pitcher.
Yeah, yes, he is.
So is his son, Jack.
Yeah.
I wanted the Red Sox to draft him, but he didn't follow them.
Really?
Yeah. I liked him at Vandy. He was good.
No, he's got good stuff. He's just not getting a lot of people out like I think they thought he would.
Well, this was pre him being in the minors. I wanted them to draft him. Now I'm,
No, I mean you're doing all right. He'll be fine.
He'll be all right.
I don't know if he's better than what you have.
Yeah, I don't know. The pitching wasn't great yesterday.
No, So, are you guys playing softball?
We're gonna be all right.
The team or the Red Sox? Because Hurrdat Sports is playing softball, and then the Red Sox were losing a softball game.
Yeah, they
also.
were giving up dongs.
Which, by the way, we might need your help on the softball team a little bit. Might need a little ringer in there.
Yeah, I got you. I've been helping.
You don't pitch, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. We need a pitcher.
You don't want to waste me pitching, though, do you? Oh, but you have to throw strikes.
I'll say. So I might be able to do it. I had to come in relief on Sunday.
I'm going to ask a question for fear that you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Probably.
Are you playing U-Trip or what are you playing?
The bats have to be U-Trip.
Okay.
That's a great question.
So what are we, 8 foot, 10 foot?
I don't know. We're in a rec league, so it's
I'll pitch left-handed.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm teaching Zoe to hit, and sometimes when I want her to see me, look at me, I'll not want to turn her around. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'll just go left-handed.
Yeah.
And Sunday, she's like, "Why are you on the other side of the plate?" It's just easier for you to see where you are. You'll just do the same thing that I do.
Did you pinch hit when you played? Switch hit, I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've got a background there.
So she and I said, now this is gravy. You don't really need this right now. But the reason Daddy likes his hands like this is so I can turn the bat head over.
Yeah, turn the.
And so what does she do? Because she's a little mimic. She just walks around and she rolls her wrist over. I said, now you have to make sure you're behind the ball.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I said, hey, take a couple steps back. See where you're hitting that thing out in front? And now I'm telling you, she's like little Buddy Wackett.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if she can field worth a darn. She may come home with some missing teeth or a couple black eyes, but she'll be able to hit. I can tell you that.
Well, listen, hitting gets you paid. Fielding doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you're Nebraska and you have 80 some odd home runs, and
maybe need to field a little bit.
I tell you what, if they get some help with a second pitcher, Nebraska can rake.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hit booms.
So you do need more than one.
Yeah. Although Jordy is a definite Conference Player of the Year candidate.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
I mean, because they're letting her hit too.
Yeah.
So
she's raking a little bit.
I mean, people forget in high school she was flipping sweet swinging.
Yeah.
And then it's like, golden arm. Just stay on the bump.
It's like, maybe we just
She's like, nah, I can hit this thing too.
Maybe we just keep you over here.
So yeah, we cannot call. I don't know. I would call Coach Rhule.
We can wait till spring's over.
I kind of want to though, because I don't think he's not really. They're not. I mean, he's clearly up, but it's Wednesday. What is today?
Today's Tuesday.
Oh no, they're
they'll have availability and stuff today. So.
Yeah, they're practicing. I'm over here tripping.
Yeah, don't call me.
Hey Shane, Coach is tripping. That's what I'm doing.
Coach is tripping.
That's what he said.
They'll say Coach is tripping.
Yeah, won't they, Mike? Oh, Mike apparently was a menace.
He's tripping his way right out the building.
You know what though? I'm a ride with Malone on this one.
Okay.
I just am. Like you know what you got when you hired him. Your team won a lot of games.
Won a championship.
And just because you weren't winning and it wore thin, we can still be friends.
They'll say Coach is tripping.
I don't think Crocky's going to be friends with him.
How about Budenholzer getting fired? And after going 36-46, they say, yeah, I had a hard time establishing rapport with his players.
Hello, friend.
82 games in, huh? That a boy. I mean, so many good coaches just get canned.
So, okay, I was actually having this conversation about Budenholzer with.
Why?
Because me and my buddy are NBA nerds.
So, do you have more than one buddy? Because I feel like you, or did you have a my buddy doll when you were little? Because you say my buddy a lot.
Well, I try to give context. Because
I mean, Evan was the OG.
Yeah, Evan's my dude.
But apparently, you have a lot of buddies.
Well, so I don't know what to call. I mean, what do you just call him? My friend?
You know what you guys shame me out of saying?
What's that?
My guy.
Oh,
I don't say that anymore.
I didn't shame you out of my guy.
So I mean, when I say you guys, I mean the royal we.
The royal you.
Yeah. That's
I didn't do it.
That's what I mean.
I'm trying to figure out though if Mike Budenholzer is still a good coach.
I don't know. Did he get dumb overnight?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, so his last year before Phoenix, he went 58-24 in Milwaukee, but they lost in the first round. So we got canned for losing in the first round. But 58-24 is pretty good.
Yeah, and that's not Mike's fault.
The losing in the first round?
Yeah.
No, it's the injuries, right? Like they were banged up.
Decimated.
Yeah.
Must be something, and maybe they need more antler spray from some of the Bucks up there. Because they fall apart.
Yeah, they do. I think Ray Lewis has got some still. He could help you out.
No, VJ Singh. By the way, he's still with us, right? What is VJ doing? Is he back in the islands chilling?
VJ Singh?
Yeah, I mean, he was such a great interview. He had all that charisma, and he was very jovial when he had the microphone. He ain't that old. He can't be but 60.
He's 62.
Okay.
So you're just not going to see him on, like, the course a lot
anymore. No, he would be on the senior circuit, but according to Shane, that's, like, the best thing going.
He's like 30 years ago.
Remember how he tried to sell us on that yesterday?
I was like, what are you talking about, man?
Cute.
He's like, no, it's just more entertaining. Okay.
Yeah, for who? Playing par threes?
I mean, I like
I mean, just because they can't hit it as far? I mean, what are you talking about here?
I don't know. Shaky putters?
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, so you don't think Budenholzer's a good coach?
No, we were trying to figure out if there was something or if it was a Phoenix problem.
No, it's a Phoenix problem.
Okay, well then.
It's clearly a Phoenix problem.
That's settled.
Is Phoenix not under? I mean, I'm not trying to get young Jakob
No, they've
started.
underachieved.
Yeah.
Dramatically. And
now health has been an issue, so we better have that caveat because Jacob does not like nuanced conversations.
But they were relatively healthy this year.
Oh, they were okay.
I mean, better than they had been.
Well, I mean, would they have made a run with K Dizzle? I know you're a hater, but
I'm not a hater. I just
no. Hey, knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. You never watched G.I. Joe, did you?
Nope, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, just say it out loud. Say, I'm a bit of a hater.
No.
And then you could move forward.
I'm a realist about who KD actually is.
I love you. I love you realist people. Oh, man, he just keeps it real. No, man, he says what you agree with. That doesn't necessarily make it real.
Yeah, except for no one agrees with me on KD. I'm out here all by myself.
Oh, come on.
All by myself.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Don't wanna be.
I know the song.
I'm going to have to look it up.
That is some whiny.
Eric.
Well,
no.
I think I was doing a different version. I think I know who you're talking about. It's not the Eric version.
It's not the Eric Carmen.
No. Very famous for other songs. This person.
Paul McCartney.
No.
Billy Joel.
Oh, I think this is a female version I was doing here.
I don't know. Well,
Celine Dion.
I don't mess with her.
Maybe you're doing the Eric Carmen version. I'm doing the Celine Dion.
Is Eric Carmen a male?
I would guess.
I would guess.
Well,
From
you just
80s.
dropping Eric Carmen and you don't know?
I mean, it's a guy singing it, so.
I mean,
this dude just can't answer the flipping question. What is so hard about just
yes or no?
Yes or no?
That's a great question.
I used to have a coworker and he used to burn his little bunda.
Oh, R.I.P. Eric Carmen.
That Shane would never answer the question. I mean, inflamed butt tissue. He would be so mad.
Why? What is it? I mean,
It's not the result that I'm.
And he would like, would you just answer the question? I'm like, hey, bro, preparation H. Does it every time. Some Madonna.
Donna Summer.
Oh, it would make me uncomfortable because Shane can be a wiener, so he would like cower. I'm like, Shane, man.
Stand up.
Rock that Superman shirt you got on, man.
See, that's where self-awareness turns in because he knows he doesn't answer the question.
Yeah, he's evasive. You're just evasive.
If it was me trying to figure it out, probably I'd be like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
He's kind of trying to bob and weave in the corner a little bit.
How many people do you think wanted that hat that he was rocking the other day?
Oh, the Nebraska with the flag hat?
Yes.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool hat.
You want to get an NIL budget? Put those bad boys online.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, if
they'll sell 3,000 this morning.
If they put a lot of the stuff that he wears, like a lot of the team issue stuff, like they'd make a lot of money.
That'd be nice. I could stop asking for it.
Hey guys, could I please?
Yeah. I got to space it out.
That's your guy though.
Yeah, I don't ask him for anything though.
No, but he's good to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's all right.
For sure. That's my dude.
No, it's I do think it's a Phoenix problem. And here's the other thing. This isn't even a KD thing. I think Bradley Beal may give the fewest Fs of anyone in the NBA.
So he's got some company.
He's in the conversation.
He's got some company.
Okay, who we got?
There's a Ball brother out there in Charlotte who
LaMelo
is in the same boat.
0 Fs given.
I think Zach LaVine is in that discussion.
Oh, yeah, probably.
There's a very famous, or I should say very infamous player down there in Houston that gives very few.
Okay.
He's your favorite. You're a big Dylan Brooks guy.
Oh, I think he gives way too many Fs.
Oh, 0. I mean, he's borderline reckless.
Oh, he is reckless, but I can't.
I mean, you can't have 52 technicals and really be caring a lot.
Well, it depends on what you care about.
Being a menace.
Well, he does care about being a menace.
By the way, that was on the other day, but I didn't have the heart to tell you because it was like 4:40 on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I wasn't going to wake up for that.
And how many times has your YouTube television ever been on BET? Why? What's so funny? I'm just asking.
Why didn't you text me? I woke up at 4:43. I could have watched that.
Well, how many times has your YouTube? I hit a chord.
I was unprepared for that question.
Yeah, and you're gonna be like, never.
So occasionally they play some movies. And I'm trying to remember, like,
how many times has your YouTube channel ever been on BET?
I don't
Never, ever, ever.
I don't want
Now,
to.
I know his isn't. No disrespect, JB. You're my dude. Shout out John Bishop.
I don't want to say 0 because I'm pretty sure I've like caught a movie on there.
Yeah,
but
and plus you don't want to box yourself into an absolute.
But it's like I can definitely count it on one hand.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And
But
I
anyway,
bet-
it was on BET, and by the time I would have
YouTube
shown
TV
you
since,
where
like,
it was on
2017.
on the YouTube, it'd have been over.
I think they played Bad Boy 2 on there more than once, so
And
I'm sure I've caught it.
And I knew I had a thing, but I forgot how many different looks Jada Pinkett has gone through.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And now I would feel so stuck. That's why you don't marry your childhood sweethearts. Because she would have, we'd have been out. Swinging a miss. She's cray-cray.
Yeah, I'm not a big Jada fan these days.
She used to be amazing grace.
I just don't like how she's. I mean, I'm sure part of this is on Will, but I'm a big Will Smith guy. I don't think she's been the.
I think Will's been weird his whole life. I think you're letting Will off the hook too.
Okay, fair.
You just all of a sudden.
I like him though.
I mean, people can get turned, and I don't mean like turned. That's different. Anybody.
Like turned up?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hit the club, man. It's
TURNT.
Yeah.
Turned.
But I don't think Will's.
You think Big Willie Styles been strange his whole life?
Yep.
Listen, that's fine. I have a blind spot for Will. I've always enjoyed Will Smith's work.
That's interesting.
I've like Fresh Prince, like Millennium, like back in the like
who?
The album Millennium.
And he's got a new album coming out.
I don't know if I'm gonna ride with that.
No, you might.
What in the world is he doing making music?
Big Willie style. Like I was the only person in the world to like Wild Wild West. Terrible movie, but I liked it.
Wild West. Wild Wild West. Was he a robotic cowboy?
Yeah. Oh, he's a cowboy on like a robotic thing. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I've got an inkling.
It's a pretty bad movie. He passed on The Matrix to do it, so that was probably a bad choice.
Oh, who would he have been in The Matrix?
He was supposed to be Neo.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked.
I don't think so either, but going with Wild Wild West was definitely
Although
not the
he
right
pulled
choice.
off iRobot. Is that similar?
He did iRobot, and I think between I Am Legend and iRobot, he could have found it.
Hey, listen, two really good slept-on movies.
There's like
I Am Legend is fantastic. Outside of the greatest dog in the world dying.
Yeah, that was rough.
Also, and did they have to make it so? Couldn't you just kill the dog as opposed to just letting him go bad?
Well, he did kill him. That's after he went bad. That's
I
why it was so
understand. I didn't need to
emotional.
see the dog suffering.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, don't zombify the dog.
That was not great.
Which, by the way, I started The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
My man Dan DK was like, "Hey, I think it's pretty good." Although he kept himself safe. He's like, "It works for me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm not a big Pascal guy."
Oh really?
No.
Didn't like him in Gladiator 2?
He sucked. He was such a gump. I'm like, buck up, Buttercup. Like, why are you being such a chump? But then Denzel turned out to be a turd too.
Yeah.
And it was your Indian friend that saved the day.
Ravi, baby. Woo.
He was.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in that movie though.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I was predisposed to like it though.
To tell.
Well, I really love Gladiator. So if it was anything north of like total dog crap, I was gonna like it.
Dog crap.
Yeah.
If you only got 2 catalogs for the rest of your life, what actor are you picking?
Ooh. That's really tough actually. So there was a time where Will Smith was definitely the answer.
That's a shame. I don't even.
It's
think
not
you
now.
Should, I don't even think you should sit up there. If that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, no, because we were talking about him. There was a time, probably 15 years ago, where Will Smith would have been my answer.
Like We Are the World. Here comes a time when you heed a certain call.
So
by the way, he's awful on American Idol.
I sort of think of these things more in terms of directors than actors, but if
I don't know enough about the directors.
So if I have to go actors, I'll be honest, like Cillian Murphy is in a ton of stuff that I love. A lot of times he's a bit player in it. Like he does a lot.
I worried that you would not watch TV very long.
It gets heavy. A lot of stuff gets heavy.
You know, you're Mr. Feel Good.
I do love so much stuff that he's in though. Like it's kind of remarkable. I'm trying to think who else.
You can get their skits too.
Their skits?
Yeah, so like let's say like Shane would probably say Chris Farley.
Oh,
so you could watch some
So like
Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
SNL, okay. So I might go. This is so weird.
I made that up, Shane. I don't even know if you like Chris Farley.
I do like Chris. I would go Adam Sandler over Chris Farley just because he's got more.
Chris Farley would give you a fairly decent.
Yes, Sandler would give you a lot of
Although
leeway.
the last 5-6 years you'd be miserable.
I think I go for it. It's like 10. It's a while, man. He's been doing that Netflix cash and checks for a while.
I'm going with Denzel. He's in there.
Denzel's a good one. Denzel gives you a lot of leeway, a lot of catalog.
I'd have to sit through Glory.
You don't like Glory?
Did that have a lot of redeeming qualities for you?
It's been a long time since I watched it, if I'm being honest.
You just need to know Civil War. Like,
yeah. I'm aware of the conflict.
Not a lot of
not a lot of feel good moments.
No. Wow.
I thought you might be like Team Matthew Broderick or something in there.
I've never liked him.
I don't either.
Even after War Games. I mean, Ferris Bueller is okay.
I'm not a big Matthew Broderick guy.
But hot take, it's fairly overrated.
I agree, actually. I don't think it's very good. And I don't like Matthew Broderick. I don't like looking at his face.
Shall we play a game?
Kind of like...
You didn't like War Games?
No. Kind of like...
He said no.
No.
Tobey Maguire. Not a big Tobey Maguire guy. Can't look at his face.
Why? What's wrong? What did T-Mac do to you?
I just don't like his face. Like, looking at him bothers me. I don't have a good reason. Don't you have anybody like that? Any actors where you're just looking at them bothers you?
Sure.
That's Tobey Maguire. For me.
Do you want a weird one?
What's that?
Benicio
del Toro?
Del Toro.
Is it his eyes?
He just looks like he's
asleep.
No, like he's possessed.
Yeah, he does look a little crazy. He's got some crazy ass to him.
Like I feel like he'd want to do something bad to me.
He probably does.
I've never met the dude.
I know.
It's what happens when you're around me a lot. You just gotta kill that guy.
No, it's a Benicio problem, not you problem.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
You want to get back to the catalog question so I get back to my.
By the way, I would go Clint Eastwood and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Clint Eastwood is a great pull.
And I know we've had this conversation before where he's not necessarily the greatest actor, but he has a large catalog. And if I had to only have two people,
I'm kind of. Do I get Clint Eastwood's directed movie? Has Clint's directed movies he hasn't been in too?
I think so. He's directed a lot of movies.
Wow, do I get his? Clint might be a good pull, Shane.
That is a good pull.
I did not have any non-minorities on my board.
You can watch his movies over and over.
So who was the other one besides Denzel? Because you said you didn't have any other non-minorities besides Clint.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. Not Will Smith?
No. No, that sounded kind of whiny, didn't it? No. Oh, okay, I don't need to read.
No.
I don't need a replay. I know how it sounded.
No.
Let's strike that from the record. It's kind of wienery.
You sound like Shane over there. No. Oh.
Yeah, let's not talk. All right.
Oh, I know. You going Morgan?
He's in the hunt.
He's in the conversation.
Yep. But Shane's got a good pull with Bent Clint. Should I take one of my other favorites? Would you take Pacino or De Niro?
So I was thinking about Pacino. I think De Niro's in more movies I like though. And here's the other thing. So this is what I was struggling with.
Apparently a lot. Where are you going to start?
A lot. I mean, we're starting with blood sugars apparently this morning. My God.
Yeah, that thing is lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Cool.
I feel bad.
Why?
Is there something I could do?
No, we're just out here. That's where the magic happens.
I'm just telling you, man. If you hit you hit the floor, you're in trouble because I am not doing the whole.
No, just call 911. That's all.
I'll try to get you by.
No, you can't do anything else.
Listen, I took my CPR. Hey, check the scene. Clear.
Probably don't need CPR. What you probably need to do, in all honesty, if I ever pass out on you, find some sugar and just get it in my gums.
So does that really work?
That's the only shot you got until the.
I know they do that on the movies where they'll there's a random dirty sucker and they'll see it on there go, and all of a sudden it's like they're the Undertaker.
It's not gonna work like that. I'm not doing it like Tyson Fury coming up after Deontay Wilder puts him to bed. That's not happening, but it will hopefully absorb enough into my system that I don't die before the paramedics get here.
So Michael Caine. What kind of pull is that?
So here's where I'm struggling is all the guys that I'm thinking of, or gals for that matter, is a lot of their stuff skews very serious. The like better actors tend to skew serious.
Yeah.
The one person I was thinking of with when you go De Niro or Pacino, and they're not all that good, but at least
wait, what?
Hold on, let me finish. At least De Niro goes lighter sometimes, and those movies aren't that good.
Like what? Meet the Fockers?
Yeah, like Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers. Like there's the Intern or something with Anne Hathaway, where he's like an old retired guy that takes an internship.
Out on Anne Hathaway.
It's not a bad movie, but he goes a little lighter sometimes, so I could mix it up a little bit. Whereas a lot of the really great actors stay pretty serious.
Oh, good pull from David. I just watched a movie with Gyllenhaal.
Oh, Jake?
Have you ever seen Presumed Innocent?
No, he's a good actor.
Yeah, I mean the movie was heavy.
He goes pretty serious. He stays pretty heavy though.
It was pretty heavy.
What are you doing with Tom Hanks?
Probably going to pass.
Because he gives you a little bit of range in terms of serious or
I mean,
comedic.
Forrest is a keeper. Philadelphia got a little, but Denzel's in there, so I could still,
you can still watch it with Denzel.
I can still watch it. I don't think Hanks makes the cut.
He's not a.
I'm not sitting through. I mean, Castaway isn't a movie I'm going to watch twice.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to think of movies.
Philadelphia is not a movie I would watch twice.
No. League of Their Own.
No.
Apollo 13. That's a good movie.
Hit it and quit it. Certainly not watching Apollo 13 twice.
That's a good movie though. You get that. Oh, you get Toy Story.
That was on yesterday.
If you're trying to help Zoe out.
No, I don't.
There's a lot of really good movies.
Any more Woodies in my life? I'm good.
Good to know. There's a lot of
He's a doll.
There's a lot of really good movies I probably wouldn't watch more than once.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, I thought you meant like Harrelson. Didn't need any more Woody Harrelson.
His catalog would not make the cut.
No, it doesn't. So Hanks just has a little range. That's why I brought Hanks.
Yeah, he's got range.
It gives you a little lighter, gives you some animated. I like Catch Me If You Can. I'd watch that more than once.
Oh, KP. Who is sitting through Saving Private Ryan twice?
I have watched it more than once, but I'm not going back for it.
Oh, man.
It's a heavy film.
All right, now this is a good one from Conflicted. I think he would make the cut. Matt Damon would be in the discussion.
Oh, that's a good one. Matt Damon's a really
Matt Damon
good one.
would be in the discussion.
That's a really good one.
I don't know. We're not going to get to two. I can help you.
I'm still upright. We're okay.
I got a friend you can call. Call Lori. She knows what she's doing.
I got a friend. No, it's you got a friend in me.
Call Miss Clymer. She fixed her own pump the other day. She knows what she's doing.
Matt Damon's a good one.
I'm trying to help you with your sugar levels. You're not listening.
I mean, calling somebody that doesn't live in the city is not going to help me today.
Tutelage. Which, by the way, I'm out on my lamb roast for Easter.
Yeah? What happened?
My mom happened. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Mama D's not having the lamb roast?
It's her birthday tomorrow.
Okay.
And apparently my sister, who's not even going to be here,
okay,
set up this fancy thing at my nephew's for Sunday. So we're going to do Easter and my mom's birthday on the same day. And none of my meat made the cut.
That's tough.
Although she's meeting me halfway.
Where's the halfway point?
Lamb chops.
Oh, you love lamb chops, though.
I do. They're little, and I don't want to be the only guy eating like 17 of them. So
you're going to have to like pregame dinner? You're going to have to like eat dinner before dinner?
I had my heart set on the leg of lamb, but it's okay.
Lamb chops, taste-wise, are better than the leg of lamb.
I'm not so sure. I'm not going to fight you because I love lamb chops.
Yeah, lamb chops are real good.
But I told you I had a thing for ham, too.
Yeah. Big ham. I like ham, but
no, I'm not. No, not a big ham guy.
Yeah,
but I like ham.
You're a big ham guy, like John.
You are a ham. This all started with Mike Budenholzer. Oh my goodness, how depressing!
What?
KP said he's watched Saving Private Ryan 20 times.
Oh God.
Why?
That's aggressive, man.
Why?
Like that's
What's the worst movie you've watched multiple times without you don't have the maturity level
without a happy ending.
without an
No, I
ending
understand.
that would make you feel good about yourself?
Man, that's tough. You know me, I generally don't skew that direction. In
So
terms of
I would say
downer movies.
The Outsiders is up there.
Okay. I'm like
Menace to Society is up there. Boys in the Hood is up there. We have a reoccurring theme. I gotta
lean on me.
outside of Kid Ray getting whipped, that had a good ending.
Okay.
Breakfast Club was cool.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I guess.
What is the worst movie that I go back for seconds?
So this isn't like a sad ending, but it's not a.
Does
does
the Equalizer count? Because people do get killed, but I love
a lot
them.
of people get. I've watched Moneyball a bunch of times, and obviously the A's don't win at the end. Spoiler, but so that would be, I guess, not a happy ending, but it's baseball, so the stakes seem pretty low. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you call The Natural? Does that have a happy ending?
I would say neutral. Like the baseball thing doesn't go well, but he meets back up with the girl, so it's probably okay. Like evens out a little bit. It's not purely a downer ending.
Yeah.
So
He's getting Glenn Close in the Twilight, though.
Yeah, the sun's not great for her in the,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what
Shallow.
I don't think she was in the vampire movies.
I'm still trying to figure out how we got here. We got Creighton, Nebraska.
Shane, you've seen Rogue One, right, Shane?
Oh yeah.
So that's a downer ending.
Oh, I did go back.
Oh, I don't know.
I did go back.
I've seen it a lot of times.
But the second time, the shower scene was so bad, I think I turned this one off.
Which one?
Leaving Las Vegas.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, heavy.
Yeah.
It's a must-watch movie.
I knew somebody.
And you may be only watch it once.
Are you an Elizabeth Shue guy?
Little before my time. I've seen her in stuff, but she wasn't like formative in my youth.
Yeah.
There is I've met people. I try not to associate with them, but I've met people. You'll understand.
This will be good.
You'll understand what's it. I've met people that have gone back and like watched American History X like multiple times.
Good movie.
But do not want to see that more than once ever.
It's a fantastic movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. For as calculated and as morbid as I can be, I will fast forward a couple of scenes.
Yeah, it's rough.
But
great movie. Great movie.
That's an
phenomenal movie. Great acting.
That's an amazing movie.
I have only seen it once. I only want to see it once.
I would probably, if it had a better, like if they would have won, I would watch Friday Night Lights more. But I hate how they lost to Dallas Carter.
Oh yeah, Friday Night Lights is a good movie. I like that movie a lot. I'm a fan.
Saving Private Ryan is a rewatch. I don't know. That might be the toughest one.
That's a tough one.
Kyle's talking about Uncut Gems. My mind, even as fast as I can process, Uncut Gems was busy in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
busy.
I never saw it. I heard it was good.
I think you would like it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I understand the premise. I don't know. I never just had this urge to watch it, so I just never did.
Oh.
But no, the Matt Damon one, that's such a good pull.
Conflicted's got me conflicted.
That's an incredible. I might have to go with that. He's in a ton of stuff that I like. And he gives you there's some lighter stuff in there too. Matt Damon's
who's going back to get Leaving Las Vegas though?
I didn't see it the first time. It's not a.
And the end is the worst.
It's not a big.
I don't know, Daniel. I know you're weird, but I don't know. Shane, have you ever seen Johnny Got His Gun?
I have not. I don't know what that is.
Did you ever watch Air?
Air.
The
is
movie
that the
about
Jordan?
The shoes?
No.
See, I liked it a lot.
I skipped through some parts.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see Sonny, but the guy that actually played Sonny, because
Matt Damon. Yeah.
I have studied Sonny so long.
He's an interesting person.
Very.
Yeah.
Matt
Damon's a great pull.
Yeah, and I did not expect that to shake up my vibe.
I
was sailing along nicely with what I wanted to do, and Conflicted throws me a curveball.
Sometimes you find
I would have to go Matt Damon.
Sometimes
I'm looking at his filmography.
Really?
He's in so much stuff that I like he kind of has like a Cillian Murphy thing where he's in a lot of good movies as like a bit character, but he gets me like Interstellar, which I love, one of my favorite movies. He gets me Oppenheimer, and then I love the Ocean's 11 movies.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the Ocean's 11 movies.
Do you see T-Mac messing with me?
No, what'd he say?
He said, DB, you just like the Equalizer because of the series. He's never going to let me forget the Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, baby.
Knock it off.
Listen, we like what we like.
It's not even that.
He's talented.
I said somebody you wouldn't be rushing to tell your friends about.
Listen, we like what we like. It's fine.
By the way, sometimes you find yourself going back to a movie you wouldn't necessarily go back to now because of the streaming. Maybe you have a platform that is just there and it's just available and you hadn't seen it for a while. You're like, oh, I hadn't seen this, and it's just there.
I got to give it to you two guys, though. I think you have the ugliest of the legit uglies of the guilty pleasures.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, legit.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
Like, you're. So, do you know who your girl reminds me of?
Who? Mine's Emma Stone, by the way. That's the one that
She reminds me of the little dude on The Hobbit. My pretty.
Frodo?
Yeah, no.
Oh, Gollum?
Gollum.
Oh, that's doing too much. Come on, man.
She gives me Gollum vibes with her eyes.
Man.
I'm like, can you imagine just turning over and be like, oh, get out.
She was actually in Superbad. I watched that over the weekend.
She was. That was one of her first roles. Was Superbad.
I mean, yeah.
Come on, it's not that bad. Come on, man. Let's
And
get to
Shane's is super terrible.
I almost made a terrible joke.
Yeah, but
let's get to Asian Wyatt. He wants to give.
But that's what you wanted, though.
No, it's a good. It actually fits the
criteria.
Yes.
Let's get to Asian Wyatt. He's got something on the movies here. Wyatt, what's going on, bud? Shane, can we punch him up?
Ravi, was it?
Hi, Wyatt.
What's up, Wyatt?
Hey, Ravi, what was your terrible joke about?
I'm gonna pass on this one.
Why are you trying to goad him into treating me bad?
Oh no, it was about Wyatt.
Oh.
That was my instinct, but you know.
Oh, your read was good. Your read was
trying
good.
to stay on the air today, Wyatt.
I mean, behind the scenes, I'll give you a pass because you know we're basically cousins, so it's all right.
Probably like third cousins, different parts of Asia, but that's okay. Yeah.
At least we're on the same continent.
We're on the same subcontinent. We're probably related at some point.
It's not like you're Russian and claiming you're Asian. So.
Wow. You're very quietly inappropriate, Wyatt. I kind of like it.
Very unassuming.
I never did my leg over the edge. So.
Not like this, dude. What do you got? I've got a call for Robin Williams. Does Robin Williams catalog?
I thought about him because he's got range too. You get some funny, you get some. But
Robin Williams is actually a good one.
It is a good pull. I probably not for me, but go ahead, Wyatt. Who you got?
Strike me as a big Mrs. Doubtfire guy.
Oh.
I was when I was a kid.
Well,
Yesterday.
Well, I got two movies for different categories. Well, first of all, I think I know what Severe's favorite movie with a bad ending would be. I bet that would probably
Roots?
be There Will Be Blood.
You know what? Okay. I cannot. So, do you know this is a hot take, and I apologize. I shouldn't even put myself out there, but I think Daniel Day-Lewis he gets on my nerves.
I think he's doing too much.
He gets on my. I can't.
I think he's okay. I think he's wildly overrated. He is doing too much all the time.
Is that a hot take? Why?
I drink your milkshake. Like, chill, man. Like, relax.
Did you see him in what was the Hooligans one? He was driving me up the wall.
Is that Last Mohicans?
No.
Hooligans?
Gangs in New York.
Thank you.
Oh,
Gangs
yeah.
in New York.
Dude,
good pull.
Doing way too much.
I'm like,
I
this
need
dude
my
is
guy to
just
chill.
weird.
He was fine in like Lincoln because he was like more subdued and he was playing a historical character. But Daniel Day-Lewis is doing too much.
Yeah, I'm out. I didn't sit through that. He does love that movie, though. What do you got? What's the worst movie you would go back and rewatch, Wyatt?
The worst movie with a bad ending, I would probably be AI, because that thing is a good movie, but man, it has like 3 different sad endings at the end.
AI. Did you know that Linda McMahon thinks that AI is like the steak sauce?
A1.
She called it A1. It had to be the most troubling moment for the Secretary of Education ever. And these kids, these young people, K through first, they're learning A1. What?
Yeah, that's not the most comforting thing when I got two little ones coming up here soon. So, but anyway,
it's always homeschooling.
Just let him come to the show every morning, and DB and I will educate.
He said anyway. All right, sorry, Wyatt. The floor is yours.
I would trust you, Ravi, since we're you can help them with their spelling. It'll be good.
That's true. That is my wheelhouse. I figured they got the math at home, right? So I'll help with the spelling.
Yeah, because I was fantastic at that. Just breaking stereotypes here.
Wow, so inappropriate.
I got spelling and computers.
No, we can share computers. We're good there.
Okay, perfect.
We share the IT department.
Damn.
If they need like hotel management, I got them covered.
Oh man.
We both got convenience stores.
That's true. Different varieties. They'd be pretty well rounded that way.
I know.
I'm not prepared to say what I think DB would.
Although, if we're staying on this movie theme, I'll much pick Ravi's store than yours, Wyatt, because something always bad happens when I go to your stores.
We're long past the LA riots, man. We're good now.
Oh, you almost killed him, Wyatt. You almost killed him.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
not that isn't the exact scene in Menace to Society. Oh.
Anyway, my other movie that I would, it was a great movie, but with the bad ending I will never watch again would be $1 Million Baby.
Good pull.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. Hey, great pull.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I like both. She's fantastic, and I'm a big Clint guy. That's just whose catalog you taking, Wyatt?
Catalog for I missed that part.
If you only get a couple of actors' catalogs, if you had to watch television the rest of your life, who do you get? And you get their skits too, if it's a comedian.
TV, movies, skits, stand up, the whole thing, whatever you want.
Oh man,
I know.
Robin Williams, that's a good one.
Yeah, Robin Williams is a good pull.
Somebody brought up Brad Pitt, and there's a lot of Brad Pitt movies I like a lot.
You can keep keep your Benjamin Button.
I've watched that movie more than once.
This is a good question for Ramon to come back on and take care of.
All right, we'll get him. You think on it, Wyatt. Let us know.
All right,
buddy.
You take care, guys.
You got it. We're only 45 minutes into one of the funniest opens ever. That's fine. Nothing good happens in his stores.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. Keep your head on a swivel.
I don't get it.
Is it like just for certain people that good things don't happen in there? Or?
Correct.
Okay, I just make sure. It's like I could go.
Yeah, can't we all just get along?
I just want to make sure. Brad Pitt probably doesn't get there for me, but he's close.
Getting a lot of run for Robin Williams.
Matt Damon is definitely on my list, though. Whoever gave us Matt Damon, you're doing the Lord's work. Good work, guys.
Amazing, Daniel. Why am I not surprised? Love Brad Pitt's movies. Never seen Benjamin Button, though. Don't waste your time.
I like Benjamin Button. I don't think it's that bad.
Guy ages backwards. Spoiler alert.
I think I've seen it twice, if I'm being honest with you. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We might set up the show at some point. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll have more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
I'm sure you'll talk about this, but I think so many of the young kids here today, us included, want to know that first step. What would be your advice for people and students just finding that first step to find their footing?
I think the most important thing to start with is, what are you passionate about? So for me, I was passionate about sports, and I love everything to do with sports. I loved everything with women's sports. So I've been able to really tailor my career to some very specific things: college football, women's sports, because those were my passions. So I would say, identify your passion. What do you care about? And you'll know, you know when time passes and you're not even thinking, you don't feel like you've worked a day in your life. That's what you should pursue. But then I would also say try on a lot of different hats in that field. So I did radio, I did writing, I did television, I did studio anchor work. For me, I found I want to be at the game. So sideline reporting ended up being what I care about the most because I'm in the action. Mm-hmm. So I would say try on a lot of different roles in those things that you find that you are passionate about.
The Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball story is a story of growth and success. After getting to visit the team this fall and watching practice and talking with Coach G, I am confident in this team this year.
The best you is really dang good. I mean, it's really good, okay? So just be that. No more, no less.
Lightning in my fingers, and I'm nice on my feet. Heavyweight big swinger, got you saying double while we're counting to three.
Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball are built for big moments.
Brace yourself.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back here, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. We're here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, where Tuesdays kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. Make sure you get in here. Maybe save a little money. Bring the kiddos in here. Don't worry, I won't be here once the kids are here. So you don't have to worry about me giving them a hard time and be like, hey, you guys are a tough hang. Get out of here. No, none of that. Everybody else here likes kids. It's just me. But I'll be gone, so it's fine. Get your free kids meal with the purchase of an adult entree here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Coming up on the show today, in just a few minutes, actually, we're going to talk to Sean Deveney of Heavy.com. He's their NBA insider as we get the NBA play-in games start tonight. And then at 9 o'clock, our Tuesday regular, Mike Schaefer from Husker247.
That is incorrect.
What?
What did you just say?
Mike Schaefer's going to be here at 8:30, Husker247.
Attaboy.
He's normally here at 9. Had some availability, switch around. It's all good. We will talk to Sean at 8 and Mike Schaefer at 8:30.
It's hard to get off this topic.
It really is, because I'm just like thinking about it more, you know?
It's hard to get off this topic.
I was trying to deep dive into Robin Williams' filmography, see what we had here, you know?
Robin Williams may make the cut.
It's a good poll. It really is.
It may make the cut.
I don't know that he's in enough movies that I love.
Do you know who I'm surprised nobody has said?
Who?
My man Boyce just reminded me of this. Tom
Yeah, I don't love Tom Cruise.
You get a ton of movies.
You do. And there's some movies I really like.
I'm kind of surprised.
I am surprised that nobody brought him up. I know why I didn't bring him up. He's not my favorite.
I would get The Outsiders. I get Reacher.
So
I've never really been a Mission Impossible guy.
The first couple I liked. It got a little off the rails for me after that. I'm a big A Few Good Men guy. I really like that movie a lot.
Fantastic. Ooh, Jack Nicholson?
Oh, nobody said Jack Nicholson. That's a pretty,
Shane, you wouldn't get your favorite movie, The Shining.
Batman's better, but I do like The Shining.
Man, you would get a lot with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. Matt Damon definitely made my cut, though.
Really?
Like, as I was looking at his filmography, I was like, oh, man, I get a ton of movies.
Shout out Conflicted.
Yeah, Conflicted got me on that one. That was a good one. I don't think Brad Pitt does, although it's close. He's in a lot of stuff that I like. And here's one of the problems. He's in one of my favorite movies ever.
Troy?
Inglourious Bastards. I love that movie.
Never sat through
it. If you enjoy watching Nazis be killed, it's a good time.
That seems a little concise. Is that really what it is?
Mostly. It's a lot about Nazis getting killed.
Oh. Huh.
Brad Pitt's first scene is one of his iconic lines is, I'm in the Nazi killing business, and boys, business is a booming.
Wow. Sounds a little morbid.
It's an incredible movie. Kim has thoughts on Tom Cruise here. Apparently, we're just going to talk about movies until Sean comes in 5 minutes. Kim, what's going on?
Hi, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, what's up? What do we got?
I actually was calling in to say Tom Cruise.
Really?
I was, yeah. He's some, I would never watch Eyes Wide Shut. I think that's
a pretty weird movie. I don't like Nicole Kidman, so that's like Operation
Neither do
Out.
I.
She is weird.
Neither do I. Not a fan of hers at all.
Hot take.
And I've about had enough of her on TV right now because she's like in everything. And it's, yeah. Anyway. But, that was too kind of graphic.
She's got a new weird one out. I think it's called Holland.
Oh, yeah, where she's like in Holland, Michigan.
Yeah, and she's stumbles on to some conspiracy with her neighbors. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like white people's Get Out.
That sounds funny.
That's the vibe.
That couldn't even happen.
That's the vibe that I got.
That couldn't even happen.
Right. I'm just vibes. Vibes only. Vibes only. Felt like white people Get Out.
Okay, thanks for that.
Wow.
Hey, but speaking of new things on TV,
yes,
have you? Because I'm also a Tom Hardy fan.
He's the GOAT. Mobland is going to be fantastic.
Mobland is Holy crud.
He is.
Oh, I can cuss now.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't have the like width of filmography that I want, but I love Tom Hardy.
Quietly, like if you talk about blind spots for just unapologetically liking somebody, that's me with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah. And, I will say, though, that we did have to turn the subtitles on.
Oh, yeah.
On Moblin.
100%. It's like watching Peaky Blinders. Like I need the subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy, although he's not, is it Killian or is it Cillian?
Killian.
I believe it's Killian.
Killian.
So I'd probably watch anything he's in. He's got some weird things, but he's
phenomenal.
He's cool.
Yeah.
But that's also, I'm going to tell you, that for me is a thirst trap. So there you go.
Wow. Wow. Good morning. Kim, what about Bill Murray?
No.
Wow.
My husband would go Bill Murray. I would not.
Quick no.
Yeah, no. All right,
Yeah,
Kim.
I have issues with Bill Murray.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it as kids on
Yeah.
staff at UConn? And he's kind of a douche.
Well, yeah, and
Wow.
and actually, since you guys have met my husband, you now know he calls the kid on staff. He always yells at the TV, "Quit trying to be Hurley. Like, shave your head when you don't have to." So.
Yeah, the old false
so he
bald
does.
guys. All right, Kimmy, I appreciate it.
Well, and hey, can I give you one more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, it may not be the best discography, but I do like George Clooney movies, except for The American, because that was a horrible movie.
George.
I think I fell asleep about 15 minutes in, and I'm not a sleeper.
That's a horrible movie. But
You're American.
that could also be a thirst trap too.
I
So
would say
sorry about that.
Kim here for her all-time catalogs being thirst traps. Kim, appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you later.
What in the world is going on?
I don't know. We're going to talk basketball apparently coming up next. Sean Deveney from Heavy.com. We'll be back at Hurrdat Sports Live.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. be back. Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Sean Deveney. He is the NBA insider for Heavy.com. Sean, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. It's interesting. This is dovetailed since we've gotten you on the show into a bunch of other things other than sports, but we got into early, 5 minutes in when we were actually a sports show, Sean. We were talking about Budenholzer, and randomly we were just talking about like how we feel about these good coaches that get fired, right? I mean, Nick Nurse and Budenholzer and Mike Brown and Mike Malone, like guys that have had accolades. And I get it. The league is tough. But how do you land the plane when you're trying to assess coaching acumen when guys can come and go so freely in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, some of it is just circumstance. There's been a lot of good coaches who are, come up through the ranks and everybody's excited about them, and they get a job and things don't work out. And next thing you know, they're a bum and they're out. A guy like Kenny Atkinson is a good example, right? I mean, he was one of the best assistant coaches when he was with the Hawks coming up, 10 years ago. And he got the job with the Nets and actually did a pretty good job with the rebuilding Nets team that, was kind of cleaning up the mess after that whole Kevin Garnett trade. So he gets that job and, really does get that, gets them to the playoffs, the D'Angelo Russell team, those teams and shows a lot of promise. And then they go and they get, Kevin Durant and, they move on from Kenny Atkinson because they don't think he's a championship style coach. Well, now look what he's doing in Cleveland. I mean, look where he's got the Cavaliers. So, so much of it is just circumstance. And what kind of thing, what kind of job you get dropped into. There's a lot of coaches who are selective about the first job they take. There's some coaches who just take, if you get a chance of one of 30 jobs, then you just take it. But that can really set you up for long-term failure, long-term success, to sort of depending on where you are and sort of how things go right out of the gate.
Sean, on some of these more high-profile firings, which ones do you think, I guess, give me the most justified and least justified you think of those group?
Yeah, look, so Taylor Jenkins with Memphis probably should have been fired like in December or so. It was clear that what he was trying to do, he was trying to change that offense, make it less reliant on Ja Morant, so they get to the playoffs, they have a better chance of survival, which is a good idea. I mean, it's a good plan. The problem is that Ja Morant was not on board with having less Ja Morant. So that was one where it was clear that wasn't working out. They probably should have made that firing a while ago. Mike Malone, on the other hand, it was clear that after 10 years there, his voice had kind of worn out, and it was probably time for a change. You don't do it 3 days before the playoffs. So you just don't do that out of respect for him, for one thing, for the fact that he's the franchise's winningest coach in history, and the fact that he brought the only championship to that. You don't do that. That's an embarrassing way to approach that. But at the same time, I would, if they had done it in the offseason, that would have been perfectly justifiable. The Budenholzer thing, again, like you could justify that too, because it just wasn't working. I mean, it's clear that wasn't necessarily his fault, but this needs to be a team that rebuilds, and they need a rebuilding coach, and that's not him. So, with all three of those guys, at least, you can make a pretty good case. I think the thing that you'd argue with in all three cases is the way it was handled and the timing of when it was done and all that sort of thing. Budenholzer is probably the most traditional one, so I'd say that's probably the most justifiable one. But, if any of those three guys had gotten fired here in the offseason, I don't think anybody'd be surprised.
It's such an interesting conversation in this era of player empowerment, and we've seen it in college athletics. NFL coaches are often connected to their quarterback. We've seen NBA coaches connected to their best player. A couple guys that always seem to be able to rise above it, though. One relatively new. Let me know if he belongs in this category. I always think Spoelstra, right? Spoelstra has Riley.
Yeah.
Stars have come and gone. That's Spoelstra. But a guy that gives me similar vibes, I just don't know about the infrastructure of the front office as much, is Mazzulla, where I look at Boston, I listen to his interviews, I watch how he plays, I watch how coaches. He's seemingly unflappable. Is he moving into that category of guys that it's his fingerprints and not Tatum, not Brown, or are we still a little premature?
Yeah, I think with him, as long as Brad Stevens is in the front office, then Mazzulla is going to be the coach. That's going to be the guy that Brad wants. When they went through the whole thing with Ime Udoka, they go from Brad Stevens to Ime Udoka. They went through that whole thing. Mazzulla was the only guy that Brad Stevens was like, hey, we got to keep this guy around. And then when they go to the stuff that happened with Ime Udoka and where he gets removed from the Celtics job, Brad Stevens went right to him. So, there is something, no question that he plays the way that Brad Stevens wants to play. Brad Stevens isn't coaching anymore, of course, but he's sort of an extension of what Brad Stevens wants to do, and you really see those two really in lockstep in terms of how they approach of how they use the personnel. So I think that he does have that, but I do think it's definitely tied to Brad Stevens being there. Now there's going to be a change of ownership. We'll see what happens if that affects Stevens' job. Obviously, he's done a great job. There's no argument with the way he's built that team, but ownership might come in and have some different ideas, and maybe things fall apart a little bit there. That would be the only way I could see that partnership starting to flag a little bit.
Sean, coaches not the only ones getting on the chopping block recently. Calvin Booth also lost his job in Denver, and then the Pelicans fired David Griffin yesterday as well. Where did it go wrong with Griffin? Because I know for a while we looked at him as a pretty bright GM, made some good moves. Can it be boiled simply down to Zion hasn't been healthy? Like, is it that simple, or is there some other missteps along the way?
Yeah, I really think it is that simple. I mean, if you look at where they were last year, it looked like they were things were starting to come together, and they were becoming the team that Griff had envisioned. But it was something where you've got basically all your eggs in one basket, and that guy has just never been healthy. He's just never been completely healthy, for an extended period of time. And as long as that's going to be the case, it's going to be tough to, it's sort of like in a lesser context, it's a little bit like where the Sixers are, where you're built around Joel Embiid, and you just don't know if he's going to be there year in and year out. At least the Sixers got a lot more out of the career of Joel Embiid at this point than the Pelicans did. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, look at where they were last year. They were really a dangerous up and coming team. But health has just been he did everything right. I guess that's the best way to. You look at all the moves that he made. He did everything right. It's just the main guy he's building around couldn't stay healthy.
Sean, if we're going to turn back the clock to some 80s and 90s success, who are you more intrigued by, Houston or Detroit?
Well, both of them have some similarities in terms of how they play.
Their toughness, for one.
Yeah, they're young teams that you're going to get some elbows. You're going to get kicked in the shins, and I like that. I like that in today's NBA. We don't see that enough. But the Rockets have been building to this, and I think they have the higher ceiling. I think they have the most long-term success. But I'm really fascinated by the way that the Pistons were able to turn this around as quickly as they did. Obviously, Cade Cunningham being healthy has been a huge part of that. But pretty much the same pieces. They changed the coach, J.P. Bickerstaff, who got fired from Cleveland, but lands in Detroit and is able to kind of reconstruct this team and to play a style of basketball that is very, very entertaining. That it's just been such a such a moribund franchise for the last few years. To see them playing the way they are, to see them, if I'm the Knicks playing them in the playoffs, I'm pretty afraid. This is not a matchup that is going to be an easy one for the Knicks here in the first round. That is as good as Houston has been. And like I say, I think they have probably the better long-term outlook. The speed with which things turned around for the Pistons has really been pretty crazy.
Interesting. Jabari Smith appears to have another offensive floor that he can reach on his elevator. Are you encouraged, surprised, to the good or to the bad, that we knew he could shoot it coming out? Do you like the way his game is evolving?
Yeah, Jabari Smith. I guess no would be the short answer. Is that he showed some aspects, I think, a couple of years ago, what made you think that okay, this is a guy who's going to be a long-term star. Yep. If you remember when he was coming out, there was a lot of talk about whether he'd be number one or Apollo, and Smith, it just really hasn't. And what's happened in Houston actually is that they've kind of moved on without him. They kind of have other guys who they don't necessarily need Jabari Smith, and that might not be a bad thing for him and his development. Maybe he wasn't quite ready to be the franchise centerpiece, but with Şengün and with Jalen Green, they've got other guys now, and of course the veterans that they've got there, to where they don't necessarily need him to be a 20-point per game scorer, and maybe that'll be good for him finding what he is in the NBA without the pressure of having to be the main guy. But for a little while there, it did look like, okay, this is he's got a little bit of inside out to his game. Seems to have lost that a little bit, but I think that there were certainly higher expectations, but he's got to find where he fits with this team and with the in the league in general.
John, if I start with OKC, Cleveland, and Boston as three, how many more teams can legitimately win an NBA title this year?
Yeah, I'd probably just those three if we're going to extend it. I just don't see certainly nobody else in the East. I don't believe in the Knicks. Pacers and Bucks are pretty good teams, but really don't have much beyond the second round. I'd be surprised if they advanced. Either one of those got past the second round, not with the Cavaliers and the Celtics at 1 and 2. The West is much more wide open, so you'd have to at least open some spots there. You've got Oklahoma City. I don't think Houston's quite ready to take that step, but you could imagine the Lakers doing it. You could imagine even the Nuggets with all the turmoil they've had. They've got enough talent to win the West. And I'd even go down as far as the Clippers. So I'd say you've probably got three teams that could win the West. I don't think they could beat any of the teams, whether it's Cleveland or Boston coming out of the East. But I think you'd have at least three other teams, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Clippers, who have the potential to win the Western Conference. So in that context, I guess I'd add those three teams and say that there's maybe about six that have a legit chance.
Sean, can I make the argument to you that the Clippers have the second best chance in the West with the way they've been playing the last month or two?
You wouldn't get an argument, actually. With the way that they've played, I agree with you. And the fact that the Nuggets are favored in that series, I was really taken aback by that.
Crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler, but that would be one I'd jump on because the way Kawhi Leonard and the big asterisk is, can he stay healthy? We've seen him go out.
He's actually getting to the rim, though. I'm like, who's the new guy?
He's playing 36 minutes a game for the last 2 months. Like, he's actually playing.
And he's playing the level of defense he did when he was in San Antonio. He's doing everything that you expect Kawhi Leonard to do. And if you've got him playing at that level, Norman Powell's a pretty good role player. Of course, you've got James Harden can carry an offense, and Zubac has been fantastic in the middle. So they have a number of different ways they can hit you. They're a deep team. It does all depend on the health of Kawhi Leonard and can he stay upright for 2 months. That's been a challenge, but if so, I agree with you that I'd have them right behind the Thunder as the favorite in the West.
It's been a long time, almost since the initial 2 weeks of the trade for Doncic, that the Lakers have actually invested in playing some defense. I know they're not built for the long haul in terms of day in, day out griminess. How dangerous a recipe is that for a guy defending a guy like Anthony Edwards, who's going to be out to probably clearly prove that he's the best player in that series?
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough road for the Lakers to get to the finals. Without much help in the middle, and they've done very well to play small ball, and Jackson Hayes has been pretty good in the 24 minutes or so that he plays in the middle. They've used LeBron as a center. They've been able to take what should be a disadvantage and really play it to their advantage here in the regular season. I don't know how well that carries off into the playoffs when you're able to really pick at matchups over a 7-game series. I think they can do it against Minnesota, although Minnesota's played really, really well in the last month and a half. I think they closed the season something like 16-4 in their last 20 games. Anthony Edwards you're right, he's going to be on a mission. I just think the Lakers have enough depth with Luka and LeBron, and then you throw in Austin Reeves and some of the role players they have. Gabe Vincent, who's an experienced guy, a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, that they can get something out of him, Rui Hachimura. I think there's enough depth there for the Lakers. And one thing that the Lakers will do is they'll run Rudy Gobert off the floor,
Yeah.
and then you're forcing the Timberwolves to play a way that's pretty uncomfortable for them. So if the Lakers can control the pace, I like them in that series. But it's going to be tough for them to get by as a small ball team. From here all the way to June. That's just a really difficult thing to do in the playoffs.
Sean, get you out of here on this. Who is your finals matchup and winner?
Yeah, I got the Celtics going again, and I do think they wind up winning again. I think this is probably the last year. I think some of the contract stuff is going to catch up with them.
Or Jaylen Brown's body.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to make sure that knee is right. But, I still think the Celtics have enough, certainly in the Eastern Conference. And then, out west, I'm going to go ahead and take the Clippers. Obviously Oklahoma City is going to be favored there, and there's a lot to like about Oklahoma City. I just don't know that team is ready. So I'm gonna take a gamble on the Clippers there.
There we go. Sean Deveney, Heavy.com. Sean, appreciate the time as always, and enjoy the playoffs.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sean. It's your NBA fix.
There you go.
We got hockey coming up at the end of the week, right, Shane?
Thursday, we're doing hockey Thursday.
Shane,
Stop this crazy
thing.
Yeah, we've got Eddie. We'll have Eddie Fox on, or Eddie. Garcia.
Thank you.
Eddie on Fox is his Twitter. We'll have him on later. He's got a new. He's hosting a new show, so I'm excied.
Oh,
to hear
nice.
About it.
That'll be fun.
It's exciting.
You
can ask him about your
Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah. Goofball. Are you nervous tonight with your Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, of course I am.
Warriors.
I'm always nervous because they're
come out to play
because they're old, and it's just always nerve-wracking. They put themselves in a listen. I mean, if you have to play in a play-in game, Memphis is probably the one you want to do because they're a mess right now. But
they're capable.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's nothing to play around with, and then you end up in playing 2 games, and I mean, they probably could use the time off. They're ancient, so it would have been nice to beat the Clippers. But as we mentioned, Clippers are kind of rolling
interesting how
right now.
Memphis at one time had the 3rd best record in the NBA.
Yeah, weird.
Fastest pace of play team, and just
they haven't beat like any good teams.
Yeah, they had a thing going.
They beat up on some bad teams for a long time, and then it kind of caught up with them when the schedule caught up with them. Kind of like the Knicks.
Well, they don't beat anybody good.
Yeah, it's what they do. It's what we do here.
I mean, we're out here.
We're out here, right? It's where the magic happens.
Sound like Coach Rhule.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to sound more like Coach Rhule every day.
It's funny that he was talking about teams with physicality, Sean, with Detroit and Houston.
Man, Detroit will straight up fight you.
So Houston's the same way.
Yeah, I'm aware of Dylan Brooks. I hate his face.
And
more than I hate Tobey Maguire's face.
Were you a little taken aback that Coach Rhule talked about their level of physicality?
Not really. I think that's something he's been working towards in this program, and we're going into year 3. Probably needs to be getting there.
I was very encouraged.
Yeah, because I'm guessing he wouldn't have said it unless he was pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, put it out there, and you have to be able to get guys to the ground.
Yeah,
right. You have got to be able to.
And he mentioned that he's like, hey, first couple days of practice, some guys were breaking tackles, and hey, that's not going to work here.
Favorite term of ours, we used it in our youth clinic. Make sure you track that near hip. He's always talking like
he's always talking like a coach.
Yeah,
he's
reminding his coaches to continue to talk like coaches, which I think hopefully will serve them well. Color me curious.
There is something. We'll say coach is tripping.
There is something we're going to talk to.
He is probably tripping.
Brisson. We are going to talk to Schaefer here in just a few minutes. But
hello, Aaron.
Who do we got today?
Aaron and Addison.
You got Aaron
Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Addison.
Is Aaron ever going to
apparently Addison and John are doing a good job.
Sounds like it.
Alicia Keys, good job. Play it. Be encouraged. Be motivated.
I'll play it during a break. See what we got.
Yeah.
There is something that
might be a little ballady for you.
Listen, I like a ballad as well. I'm like you in that sense. Both love ballads.
Only you could make that a bad thing.
How did I make that bad?
Well,
Listen,
you included us.
You internalized it. That's not. I can't really do anything about that.
It's on the receiver of the information.
Yeah,
I own it.
That's totally on me. There is something that Coach Rhule said on Saturday that I do want to get to. I don't know if we'll get to it with Schaefer, but
you can just ask Schaefer.
We can get to it.
That's the cool thing about you running the show.
No, I can't ask him that.
If it's on your mind.
Maybe we will. We'll see. But he said something. And I'll bring it up here so you can start to noodle on it a little bit, because I don't think I sort of hinted at it yesterday, and your ears perked up because you're like, "What do you mean you didn't agree with Coach Rhule 100%?" Because I normally do.
No, not that even I don't.
No, yeah, but I normally am riding with him. But he said something about
I don't know if he was baiting me the other day, and I was talking to him, and he said, we were just talking about being challenged and questioning. He goes, if you bring something to my attention that you didn't like, I'll probably listen. I don't know if you're going to be right, but I'll probably listen. Well, hey, that's all I need, man.
Just hear me out.
Yeah, because I know sometimes people think I agree with him all the time, but I certainly don't.
No, I don't think you do. I probably agree with him more than you do. I'll do the skirt and pom-poms.
If we were ranking the levels of crush,
yeah,
you were in way before me.
Yeah, well, and
I mean, you have them in the playoffs next year.
I 100% do, without a doubt.
Quick question before you ask me.
Yeah,
were you surprised at the pushback from Sam's segment yesterday about the comparisons with SC and UCLA?
Yeah, because I don't think people understood what he was saying.
It took a whole nother.
I get that
it was. Was it all over?
Yeah, it was people were in my timeline and stuff. Yeah. And it was I don't. So people do this with Sam a lot, where they just take one line kind of out of context. And
Ravi here for Sam.
Well, I'm here for context.
Fair, right?
Yeah, just be fair about what you're saying.
Shane.
Because listen,
fair and balanced.
I've said plenty of crazy stuff that in context is crazy, and people, it gets backlash, and that's fine. I've also said stuff that was not crazy in context, and people just pluck it out, and they're like, "Oh, look at this," and it's stupid.
You think they just heard the clip?
Yeah, I think they just heard the clip because we cut it out on our socials. And I think they just heard the clip of not wanting to be, or Nebraska being in a place where he's happier than being USC right now, or not being in a place where they're USC right now. And I think if you're talking a bigger picture issue, which I thought he was.
Lil baby.
LIL
apostrophe baby. Bigger picture.
Oh,
Google it.
Yeah, you got me Alicia Keys. You got Lil Baby. The breaks are only so long, my guy.
Great song. It's bigger than Black and White.
This is gonna shock you. Don't listen to a lot of Lil Baby.
You and Sauter.
I'm more on.
And 80% of our listeners our streaming audience.
More of Alicia Keys. I know some of those at least.
What's 80% of 11 or 12K?
A lot.
8,500.
Almost 10. Because 75% would be 9.
9.
Finish
the goddamn comment, jerk.
But yeah, I think the USC stuff was taken a little out of context for the greater picture of what we were talking about.
Bigger picture.
The greater picture. The royal we.
Knock it off.
Uruguay.
Sit on your hands.
Uruguay.
Zip it.
That's fine.
No, but he said something yesterday or Saturday about great players making situations great and kind of talking about the desire to seek opportunity versus the desire to hang it in competitively. And I'm all for a competitive football team in competitive rooms. I've been talking about that since Bo couldn't.
Did you see my initial tweet on the show?
I don't think so.
I'm going to go back to something and see if I beat you to the punch, because we did not talk about this ahead of time.
We did not.
I said we'll chat with Sean Deveney and Mike Schaefer. We'll talk play-ins, MLB, competitive minds, and the NFL draft.
So this is where I want to go, because I love that, but I'm also very torn because I think opportunity and situation matter a ton. And positionally, I think it matters, right? Like, quarterback's weird. You only play one guy, theoretically or ideally. But, man, there's some spots where I think about Doug McDermott. If he goes to a Power 5 school out of high school, does he turn into Doug McDermott, or was part of that opportunity to grow into who he is? Some guys need game reps to become who they are. So I struggle a little bit with the competition versus opportunity. We'll talk to Mike Schaefer about that coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'm sure you'll talk about this, but I think so many of the young kids here today, us included, want to know that first step. What would be your advice for people and students just finding that first step to find their footing?
I think the most important thing to start with is, what are you passionate about? So for me, I was passionate about sports, and I love everything to do with sports. I loved everything with women's sports. So I've been able to really tailor my career to some very specific things: college football, women's sports, because those were my passions. So I would say, identify your passion. What do you care about? And you'll know. You know when time passes and you're not even thinking, you don't feel like you've worked a day in your life. That's what you should pursue. But then I would also say, try on a lot of different hats in that field. So I did radio, I did writing, I did television, I did studio anchor work. For me, I found I want to be at the game. So sideline reporting ended up being what I care about the most, because I'm in the action. So I would say try on a lot of different roles in those things that you find that you are passionate about.
The Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball story is a story of growth and success. After getting to visit the team this fall and watching practice and talking with Coach G, I am confident in this team this year.
The best you is really dang good. I mean, it's really good. Okay? So just be that. No more, no less.
Lightning in my fingers, and I'm nice on my feet. Heavyweight big swinger, got you saying double while the counting to three.
Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball are built for big moments.
Brace yourself.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back here, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. That person you saw flashing out of the screen was Sasha Durkin, saving our lives again. We appreciate you, Sasha. Joining us now is
Did
Mike.
You know she was that fast? She was like the Flash.
I know. Joining us now is Mike Schaefer, Husker247. What's up, Schaefer?
Oh, just computer issues. So
hey, us too.
A different location. I don't know if it's going to sound any good. I don't have a microphone, so we'll just wing it.
Mike J, I actually like the angle. That's pretty cool. I get to see some of your artwork too. Not that I'm being nosy.
It's not my artwork. It's was bought by my brother on a garage sale here in Lincoln like 15 years ago, and then his wife made him get rid of it. So I took it, and here it hangs in the bar downstairs. So
another man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah, I think he paid like 50 cents. I got it for helping him move houses. It's a great deal.
I think you might have gotten the fuzzy end of that popsicle, Shafe. So I wanted to ask you about this. There was this clip that Coach Rhule said on Saturday when he was doing his presser. Shane, can you play that for us real quick? Oh, my bad. I didn't realize you guys were doing stuff. Do you have?
No, I can play here. Give me 1 second.
Shafe, take a listen to this real quick.
What is it? Don't ask for the strength. Don't ask for life to be easy. Ask for the strength to handle it when it's hard. That's super paraphrase, but I try to live my life by that. I try to share that with our guys. So every situation is going to be different. We're not super out there looking for a ton of guys in the portal. If a guy pops up, we might take a guy if it's the right fit. But we like this football team, and we I don't know if there's enough footballs to go around with guys I think can make plays on this team, and so we want to play a ton of guys on defense. So I'm not sitting here chasing anybody except someone who can be a difference maker if they showed up.
So, Shafe, the kind of overarching thought that Rhule was talking about was being competitive in these individual position rooms and versus sort of guys seeking out better opportunities in the transfer portal. And I've been a proponent that Nebraska needs more competitive rooms, going back to the Pelini days when I felt like they couldn't find a backup quarterback to push Taylor Martinez. But at the same time, I do understand the desire for guys to want opportunities. And so I'm kind of conflicted here because it's hard to have both, right? It's hard to have competitive rooms with good guys in it and still understand that guys want opportunities to play if they think they're able to. I don't really know what to do with that in order to move forward if you're Nebraska, if that makes sense.
Well, it's the same problem everybody else faces. So you just have to figure out how you want to attack it. If some of it isn't trying to convince people their opportunity to more consistent playing time isn't through things like special teams or maximizing individual opportunities that they get. I know he's no longer with the program, but I think Mekhi Bayer is a good example of what the staff is willing to do if a guy shows in practice and shows on special teams that he can help out. I mean, he immediately went from
that's how they count.
intriguing special teams player to helping on that 2023 defense to having a role in 2024. Now, ultimately, he left in the portal. I can't speak as to why he did that, if it was a change in the coaching staff or whatever, but grass wasn't greener in Missouri either. So I guess the idea, though, behind it is a player like Mekhi Bear or someone in that situation can own whatever opportunities that they have in front of them. The staff has shown that they're willing to play. I mean, another example who went into the portal, who had a big weekend himself here, James Williams. I mean, if you show this staff through practice, through your opportunities, that you deserve an opportunity, then they're going to find a way to get you on the field. I don't know that there's much more that they can do than that. Obviously everyone wants to play as soon as they can and wants to contribute as soon as they can. Some are more ready to do that than others. It's up to the coaching staff to determine how much of a loss are you taking if this guy's on the field and he's getting his feet wet, and can you survive that? And how many plays can you survive that? Now, that's all part of the calculus of being a coach.
Interesting. I can't wait until you brought up James Williams, and we spent all of 60 seconds, right? I said, just a little bit of emotional immaturity, and you're going to get that when guys come and go. It's just, I think the most disappointing thing to me about the James Williams situation is the fake outrage from adults that are bothered by it. I get the fans, but like, it's kind of a nothing burger, right? In the grand scheme of things. I mean, it's so fluid.
I just think
guys coming and going. I just like, come on, like let's just move on.
It's going to happen, a few times a transfer cycle where someone's going to leave and he's going to talk well about his new program. And to do that, he might say things that aren't reflective of what actually happened at his old program. And I just think everyone has to move on from it. Honestly, the person who I would have the strongest reaction to was, I don't think Terrence Knighton needed to weigh in at all. Frankly.
Yep.
I
thought he got up.
That was the only
outrage. Knighton got off scot-free.
That was the only person who I'm like, nobody needed this. It's only added to what was dying out anyways. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I just think it's a spring nothing burger, as you said. So, and I just think this is going to happen. And how many guys have come to Nebraska and talked about, how great it is here relative to where they were. Like it happens. This is just what's going to be a thing.
We just heard a coach.
Yeah, Dana
Holgerson reference a couple of players and ask them about the situations they were coming from, right? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. So I just don't know that we need to spend a lot of time being upset or even critically analyzing what was said there. It's a guy who had a microphone in front of him.
I didn't just do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to move on from that. I'm not going to be childish. Mike J, I got some questions, though, and I always like asking you these things because your needles just kind of pins, right? Like you can, okay. So I just feel like there's this foreshadowing about competition and playing multiple guys on defense. And he said, we got 4 or 5 safeties that could start. We have 6 corners. I want to be multiple. I want to play a lot of guys. How quickly or how intentional is it that you think that he keeps reminding us that this is the direction that this particular defense is moving in?
Well, there's a lot of facets to it, right? You have the portal. So if there's guys that you don't want to see go in this week that you think have a real opportunity to help you next fall, you want to get them through this period of time in which they at least feel like there's the opportunity there. So you're addressing that on the front end of it. And that might be the biggest aspect of all of it. There's the idea that at least crackpots like me hold that there's some younger players in the secondary that are going to take time away from people we've seen take a lot of snaps over the last few years, that just because you're a veteran and just because you have the reps doesn't guarantee that you're going to continue to play the lion's share of them. So there's that aspect too.
I think that was the biggest, but I did not think of the don't get in the portal thing though. So
I don't know that that's as is often discussed. Things that come out of the stadium over there and out of press conferences and quotes all have a general purpose that sometimes extend beyond just the face value of it. So saying, yes, we like a lot of our players and we're going to play a lot of them. Well, there's truth to that, but there's also other meanings to it too. And I suspect one of them is, hey, there's going to be opportunity here for you. Don't just assume that wherever you land right now on the depth chart means that you're never going to be able to play. And so I think things about Matt Rhule is if you listen early before the spring started, he told us a lot of what he already liked about the team before the spring began. And if you go back to the defensive back specifically, and I don't remember who in the media asked the question, but I think it was Brian Christopherson, so I'll just give him blank credit on it. But I think the way that Rhule answered it showed you how much they like what they have in that room, showed you that they like what they've evaluated in that room, that they don't have all the information that they want about some of these players. So they want to keep a bigger defensive back room because I think there's going to be some hits coming and they want to receive them and not allow them to end up somewhere else and find that success. So I think the defensive pack picture is going to remain relatively unclear, even after we get out of this portal, even after we get out of the spring, even as we through summer. I can see that as a position room where the guys who play in September aren't necessarily the ones that are finishing the things out in November in Big Ten play. I just think there's a lot of movement that's going to occur in the secondary.
So, Schaefer, what you just said there about young guys taking snaps in the secondary, about guys starting in September versus the guys that are going to start in November, that's the exact reason why I was surprised Deshaun Singleton came back, if I'm being totally honest with you. And I know you didn't name any names there, I am. But that's the guy that I think about where I go, okay, he was okay for stretches. There were stretches where I felt like he didn't play as well. And I think there's a lot of guys back there that can, I think, replicate what he does already and perhaps with some seasoning pass up in terms of consistency what he brings to the table. I was kind of surprised that he rolled the dice there because I'd be surprised if there were any guarantees about his playing time.
Yeah, and I don't know that there are guarantees about his playing time, but I also don't know that he's returning to the same role that he left. And so they mentioned that he's someone that could have a bit of a different role. And so does that mean he's playing more in an Isaac Gifford spot? Is he playing more on the second level? Is there a way to utilize his athleticism? I don't think he's an NFL safety. So is there a way that he can expand his skill set where he's going to look more attractive for teams in the future? So I think Nebraska looked at it as, hey, this is a mutually beneficial thing, and we can see if we can extract more value at a different spot with a guy that we'd be comfortable if he has to play in a pinch where he'd played the previous couple seasons for us. So I almost look at it where for them it was a sort of a no-brainer. Like, this is someone that they like. They like him personally. They've invested time in him over the last couple of years, but they still wonder if there's more for him out there on the football field or different ways that he can be utilized. And the thing about Deshaun Singleton is to me, he's always come off as he's got a lot of humility, pretty humble team guy. Like, if he's asked to play in a different role, he's going to attack it with everything he has. And so I think part of it is the personality of who came back too. If he was someone that they were worried about, oh, he's going to want this or he's going to need that, I don't know that the door would have been as open as it was.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Because there's a couple of things in there. I like the fact that you talked about the versatility in his role, but he's also well received too.
He's very well liked over there. I don't know if that comes across in the media setting. He's easily one of the better interviews that you're going to get because he's thoughtful. He puts time into his answers. He's genuine. You're not getting a quick canned response. I think he's probably the closest to what MJ Sherman was in a lot of ways, where you get a really thoughtful, thankful individual. I think Deshaun Singleton knows there's a lot of ways that college football could have went for him that didn't include playing Big Ten football at Nebraska. And so I think he's ultimately appreciative of that, the way that doesn't always come across with other players. I don't mean that as a good thing or a bad thing. That's just from my own experience talking to him over these last 3 years. That's a guy who's really happy to have found what he did here in Lincoln.
Yeah, it would be easy for me, like on a personal note, to want to be selfish, right? Like, don't come back or go or. But I also love the fact that if Caleb can play the post safety, I'm just using him as an example because this is something I actually know. Can play the post safety, and then play the rover spot, right? Which D Singleton plays because you want your top 5 or 6 DBs out there. The fact that Buford and Singleton are guys that can not only encourage and pull along, like, hey, come on, young fella, this is how you have to do it, and it allows those guys to be versatile in their role. The team wins, right? Like everybody wins. So I think the attributes that you're describing, Shafe, about Singleton are, I think, exactly how this team is going to build from the bottom to the middle to the top going forward. I think you're 100% spot on.
Well, this is a unique situation too, because I don't think anyone expecting into last year that his eligibility was just going to magically come back.
Plays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, that was a sticking point throughout half the season. I don't think that's no secret,
especially with him and Gifford.
So I'm very fascinated what that looks like when we get to the Cincinnati game. And again, I just think there's a lot of variations that this defense can go through, and I think this, we'll see what this lands on, but I think patience is going to be required for Nebraska's defense in 2025. I don't think it's going to be the sort of unit that finished out 2024, the type of team that was able to shut down Iowa for what it was. It's going to be a different defense, and it's going to take a little bit of time for them to find themselves, find their best 11, find their best rotations.
And it may be situational, right? Like sometimes you may want
absolutely
hyphenated Trent or Javen Wright or Stanger, or I'm missing one inside.
Well, think about 23 when they were sometimes at their best.
Or Shavers, right? Shavers, or multiple D line. What if you want to go speed rush and so you go a little lighter, quicker, or you could use an Ochoa versus I think their ability to match personnel situationally, I think they really, really want to be a strength.
Well, it was in 23. That's kind of what I was saying. And then in 24, they largely stuck with their guys in a way that 23, they played like 25 defensive players. It was a large number. And some of that was just figuring out what you have, and it's a new coaching staff and all of that. But they're kind of back in that again. You have a new defensive coordinator. You have new assistant coaches. You have guys that are doing it for the first time at this level. And so I think there's a period of trial and error, and that's kind of why I think patience is going to be needed with this defense, and that whatever it looks like at the start, allow yourself the idea that it can definitely improve over time. Or maybe it comes out like gangbusters and they have to figure out how they're going to be able to do that week in and week out. So there's just a lot of different ways defense can go.
Shafe, as we talk about sort of balancing things on as we observe very little bits and pieces of spring and hear from coaches, how are you sort of processing through this? Hey, we really like the defensive line and how they're playing, but the offensive line might be our strongest unit so far. Like those two things are obviously opposing each other in terms of on the actual football field, but how do you kind of balance those two narratives that both of those can be good?
Yeah, it's just given me consternation this spring, because the part of me that wants to buy in entirely on the offensive line recognizes that they're not going against what Nebraska had for the last couple of years up front defensively. And I think both can absolutely be true in different ways than just, it means that they're going to be really good up front on both sides of the ball. They might really like depth and the way the guys beneath are emerging, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the top end has stretched itself to a new level. They might like the way that some of these guys have gelled and play together immediately on the offensive line, or that there's more options at each position than maybe they would have expected coming into the spring. So there's different ways that this can all play out. I think with the general sense that I've gotten is they like the individuals that they have up front defensively. There's an acknowledgement that it might take a little bit of time for it all to come together, but their potential is really, really high. And, you know, if the offensive line comes along and is playing well and it can handle its business next September, Nebraska is going to be a better offense for it. So it's hard for me to get too far over my skis on what we've heard with the offensive line, but I think it's good. And I think it also kind of tracks because they've built and they like a lot of those young guys, and now they're getting their opportunities to see what they are. And, you know, we'll see what the actual formation kind of looks like as we get into the summer.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. I kind of, because what I'm hearing you say is you have a better feel of what you think the offense will look like at this point, even with O-line moving pieces, than you do the defense.
Absolutely.
But that's probably more – I don't want to lead it. Is that more because you think the defense has more more range, or because they have newer – you're starting with Dylan and working out, and he's probably the most known commodity?
I think you have a little bit more known commodities with Dylan and Emmett Johnson and a general idea of what those guys look like, even when adding in the pieces at wide receiver that are different, even when acknowledging that you had however many starts walk out the door with Bryce Benhart and Ben Scott and experience with Mazuka and all of it. But when you look at the defense, and I mentioned that everything is sort of different. There's pieces that look the same, but they might play different. They might be asked to do different things. They might have different strengths than they have in the previous 2 seasons. They're getting different instruction. The idea, the concepts, the goals are largely going to be similar, but how they get there may look different than what we've seen in the past. So because of that, I feel like I have a better understanding or a better feel or more confidence, whichever of these 3 phrases you want to use, in what's happening on the offensive side of the ball. But I acknowledge that there's a lot of upside for them defensively too. It doesn't, just because it looks different or it sounds different doesn't mean it has to go poorly. There's just different ways that they can get to the result that they want than what we've seen so far.
I wonder how many times how they're gonna benefit from guys that have the opportunity that leave to stay because it's good for both versus they're coming back because they don't have anything else to do. Because you can build your program on the first part. Like a guy like Singleton, who's going to be a fantastic tester, really gifted athletically, but maybe he thinks, heavy safety-laden draft. Nebraska's been really good. This is a place that can continue to develop me. That's a good thing versus somebody that just that sticks around or wants to stick around because they don't have nowhere else to go. And I think while Nebraska's trying to build a program, Schaefer, where you don't want to leave, if you can get to the point where you have enough self-awareness to say this is the better place for me, that's how you can beat the portal. Like, I'm just piecing together all the stuff that I hear those guys say, and Coach Rhule and the portal and the right information and how they're trying to build this team with pending roster constraints, whenever that is, versus the methodology of the culture. They seem to be coming together, or is that just me?
Well, you have a better view of it, and certainly you have the ability to talk to someone who's inside of that culture in a way that, you know, the rest of us don't. But so I think there's definitely tenets of truth to that, but some of it hasn't always the goal been to build a program where when people leave, they're leaving for something better or they're leaving for what they perceive to be better. And when Nebraska was at its apex and guys were able to leave as juniors, you were able to survive it, not because they were going somewhere else to play in college football, but because they were leaving to go play in the NFL. Like, that was the goal. That was ultimately what you were building. And so I think you want to be able to build a program who's able to withstand when good players move on, because that's what college sports are. You know, it's obviously we're in weird times where eligibility has been stretched to the ultimate limits, but the goal of Matt Rhule and the goal of what they're trying to do over there is to give guys, whether it's 3 years to 5 years, the opportunity to better themselves and to move on to the NFL or the UFL or whatever it is that's next for them. And if some of them happen to leave a little early to go to a different college program, you're still working towards what you ultimately want, which is to put them in a position where they're leaving better than when they came, and then to have the next piece ready to go for it. So the idea isn't what's going out the door, it's building up what's behind them that's ready to go, that's next.
I want to get to a point. I hear you. I do. But I want to get to a point where we're not bothered by Brandon Jackson leaving or what James Williams says. Like, I like your answer. It's the most optimistic of what you're.
I don't know that everyone is bothered by that.
It seems very practical over Nebraska's tenure because they haven't won enough games.
Well, I think there's this idea sometimes, and it's not everybody, but there's people in the fan base that have a tough time understanding why you wouldn't want to be a Husker forever. So there's that. And how many different times, whether it's Cam Jurgens, to Malik Collins, to Vincent Valentine, where it's you leave early, oh, no one's going to draft them. They don't have a chance in the draft. And then they go on day 2 or high on day 3, and then they're there in the NFL and carving out a career and blah, 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 blah. But that's not everybody in the fan base. That's just a small section of people who have a tough time acknowledging that there's something beyond Nebraska in football. And so you look at the best programs, they lose guys to go to the NFL early, and they withstand it because they're building behind them. So it's not what's leaving you, it's what you have ready to go in the chamber. That's always been the difference maker in college athletics. You want to get to the point where your players are good, that they have the opportunities. If that's not the goal, then I don't really understand what it is that you're trying to build. So the idea is to have a program in which you're doing things in a direction that when someone does go and a player is good enough, like let's say Dylan Raiola is good enough to leave as a junior, and we know what that conversation is going to be when that happens. Hopefully Nebraska put themselves in position through a combination of recruiting and building up the roster that whoever they turn to at quarterback finds Nebraska in a far better manner than Dylan Raiola did in 2024. Like that's ultimately what you want, right?
Good stuff there, Schaefer, as always.
See, it's I mean, I'd rather ask you, Mike. You're not as concerned with our boundaries.
All right. I mean, we don't quite have the same relationship that you and Caleb do, but, we can work towards that. That can be a goal of ours.
I tell him I'd much rather talk to functioning adults.
Breaking news. Schaefer does not have a child on the team. This is what we learned today. Schaefer, we appreciate – not yet.
He's still got a chance at a good baseball player. My options.
We'll see.
Out there winning sack races at PBA, though, so we don't know. It could happen anytime now. Schaefer, we appreciate the time, as always. We'll talk soon.
Great stuff.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
I'm getting my information for the most part, kind of where you guys get information. Like I'm following Ross Dellinger basically every day. So it's kind of like when you guys asked me about this, the Colorado-Syracuse spring game. I was like, I'll wait and see what happens. It's kind of like that, right? Now, I was in Big Ten meetings early on where I was a major proponent of grandfathering people in. Even if you went 120, 115, 110, 105, or 150, I know some other conferences had some concerns about that. And I think part of the reason why they had concerns was, hey, what if all these teams start scholarshiping 120 guys, then there's not less guys for everyone else. Let me just say this first. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving kids money to go to college, paying for kids to go to college, right? Putting guys on scholarship. I mean, there's going to be enough players to go around. So I don't have those major concerns. And I think as we've moved forward and we've learned more about what the House settlement could be, again, I don't know what it is. What it could be, I think, the concerns about people just putting everyone on scholarship and hoarding players in the old days, the 70s of 150 scholarship or something that's kind of going away.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
For Hurrdat Sports and for Borsheim's, it is our big game chain player of the game, and it's Mikey Jensen of Papio South in a 5-1 win as Class A takes down Class B. Mikey, congrats. Big day for you. Started on the mound, and you got 6 strikeouts today. You're feeling it early. Had to deal with all this wind, but nonetheless, you had control from the get-go.
Yeah, yes we did. Could trust my curveball, and I just trust my defense to make the plays, get weak contact in the field, and I have Danny in center field to catch those 5 balls for me, and Donnie.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. Reminding you, if you're out there on the roads today, make sure you've got those seatbelts fastened and do it properly. Make it click. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. DB, Schaefer had some good stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
You know,
a little rose-colored for me, but
on the players leaving.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that he's got it basically boils down to if Nebraska's winning enough.
Yeah.
I just don't think the fan base will care.
The funny thing to me about the whole thing, and Schaefer brought up a good point with this, is we kind of bemoan guys that leave, and we're like, "Oh man, can't afford to leave," and get all upset, and then we, in the same sentence on the other side of our mouth, say, "Oh well, they're not going to get drafted," or "Oh, they'll never make it." We almost try and disregard their contributions while at the same time being upset that they're leaving because it's going to be hard to replace them. And both of those things cannot be true at the same time, right? They're either good enough to get drafted, which is why you're upset that they're leaving, or they're not good enough to get drafted, which means they're replaceable, right?
Has there ever been a stretch where, I mean, Brandon Jackson came to mind because I couldn't believe the
outrage?
Yeah. And I liked him a ton. So
I did too. I was weirdly a Brandon Jackson guy.
And it bugged him.
And I liked how he ran.
It bugged him.
He was from Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
good back.
And I don't, he just didn't love the fact that people didn't understand that he wanted to. He's like, any money I'm making is more than what I'm making for my family.
Yeah.
And so whatever it was a third round or whatever.
Yeah, this is a different conversation 20 years later.
Right?
Right?
AG, third round, could have come back or whatever it was. I'm like, guys, we don't even know like the situation.
Right.
Right. But I just don't know when Nebraska will
get past that.
Yeah. Like I'm more mad at my colleagues and peers for how they got into the weeds with the James Williams stuff than I was James Williams.
Second round for Brandon Jackson, by the way. So obviously he got at least some decent advice.
So like what at some point that can't bother us. And maybe it is only a small section.
Maybe.
But it doesn't seem like it though.
So you're right, the Knighton thing was worse.
I'd let that go.
The Knighton thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm like, okay. I don't get it. It was unnecessary. But just because I wouldn't do it.
So most of the excuses we make for James Williams don't apply to Knighton. Young, maybe I'm a little emotionally immature, maybe doesn't know better. Like Knighton should know better, right? And I think what it is for me, it isn't about James Williams leaving, right? We talked about this yesterday, I think, where
I mean, he's going to want to go with the guy that took care of him.
right. So I understand that. And if he looks at a situation, he goes, hey, I need my relationship, I need a little bit of money, and I want to be with Coach Knighton. And those are the three things he's looking for, and those boxes get checked. I get it. I get why
and maybe he wanted to be away from what was going on here.
And frankly,
that was a little toxic.
Sure. I do think I think part of it with James Williams specifically is that it feels like we took a chance on him when no one else was willing to, and he doesn't seem grateful for that. I think that bothers people. I'm not saying he should feel grateful, but I think people want him to have some gratitude for what Nebraska did for him and put him in a position where he could go to a place like Florida State.
You want an example of what you're talking about?
Sure.
Just protecting holistically the person.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think there's anybody in the state, in the media, that had a better relationship with James Williams than I did?
Probably not.
You think James Williams trusts me to talk?
Probably.
Okay. So I called Keith Mann,
mm-hmm.
and I said, hey, this is on the heels of him having the emotional hug and the embrace with Coach Knighton.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, Captain, want to follow protocol. Can I get an interview request with James?
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's safe. This is a true story.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you
remember.
I'm just going to tell you how good the university is.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, Keith and Coach Rhule. And Keith's like, well, we're a little sensitive with that. Why don't you just ask Coach Rhule? And I was like, okay. Didn't want to go over your head, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked Coach Rhule, and he said, hey, normally I would say yes. I don't want too much too fast. Let's pass this time around. Come back to me in a year, and we'll see where we're at.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're trying to protect this guy.
I'm like, I'm just giving you me originally. I'm like, because I wasn't that easy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, come on, man. I said, it's me. In my head. I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
So when we hung up, I text back and I was like, oh, I said, I could understand that. Baby steps. And he, did the little fist pound thing. The more sometimes you turn people over to themselves,
mm-hmm.
the less it comes across as loving.
Sure. Yeah.
I think he's just loving them through the situation, right? Like trying to make the most of, hey, this guy doesn't always need a microphone.
Sometimes you understand their limitations better than they understand their own limitations.
100%.
And it may feel like...
And he was protecting him from himself.
Mm-hmm.
Although, even though he was the same guy that he turned loose on official recruiting visits at the player podium.
Yeah.
But do you know what he said? You have to be able to have somebody tell the story, the good and the bad, so everybody has the same facts. So in that environment,
yeah, it's a different environment.
He's willing to turn him loose because it was him, Canuck, and Carol Jackson, which was a very interesting dynamic.
It's a strange group.
They're all powerful in their own way. VCJ was very appreciative of finding him when they did on the recruiting trail and investing in him and conversations. Williams was about the opportunities they afforded him off the field more than on the field, right? Meeting him right where he was at. And Canuck is the guy that he's still waxing poetic about, which I find very interesting. He's on the Canuck and Segrin thing. And I liked Segrin. And I remember we talked about him on the show as kind of the number 2 tackle, and people were mortified, and I get it. He was a little guy kind of at the time.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you remember him going into depth over 2 guys, both personally and how they're progressing from a developmental standpoint?
Yeah,
it's usually one or the other.
Yeah, he doesn't do it very often.
If at all.
Yeah, he doesn't do it very often. He doesn't single guys out very often in general, right?
Yeah, and that's Canuck and Segrin in back-to-back.
And if he's going to single guys out, it's usually about what they're doing off the field.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to talk about, what they're doing for the program and things like that, kind of who they are as people.
Mm-hmm.
It's even more rare that he talks about what they're doing on the field specifically. But to do both, as you mentioned, with two guys in back-to-back.
I mean, he talked about the people that Canuck had come in contact with where he, held the camera or mowed the yard or – I mean, it's clear, at least in my opinion, the culture that they're trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it isn't even football related. And we have to just be patient.
I would say most of it is not directly football related.
We just have to be patient because if he's going to withstand this volatile time, he's going to have as many constants as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's his countermeasure. I think he wants to work smarter longer as opposed to scrambling in the short term. That's why he's building the culture that you don't want to leave and to make sure you do have all the information and you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I think you can just see what he's trying to do.
I can for sure. I do think, and I think it's worth bringing up in this conversation, there's only so many places you can make that play.
Yeah.
Right? Because Nebraska is going to be competitive with the money. Right? They're going to be competitive with the NIL.
I agree.
There's probably some places that would like to try and do it this way, but there's such a gap between their NIL and what other people are offering that you can't make up the difference with culture, right? You can't make up the difference with some of the other things. The fact that Nebraska is always going to be competitive on the money side of things gives Coach Rhule an opportunity to do things like this where he can say, hey, I want to make this a place you don't want to leave. We may not be your best offer, but we're going to be a good offer. It's going to be competitive. And the money's not going to be so different that you're going to look at it and go, most kids won't look at it and go, oh, I have to leave. I'd be doing myself a disservice if I don't leave, right? If you're making $100,000 one place and somebody else offers you $1 million and it's a real offer, you're doing yourself a disservice not to look at it, right? But if you're offering $900,000 at Nebraska and somebody else is offering you $1 million to go someplace else, then you're looking at it and you go, okay, those numbers are close enough.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That maybe other things are worth the extra $100,000 at Nebraska versus going to this other place. Maybe they will develop me better and I can play for long money in the NFL as opposed to the short money in college. Or maybe I will have better recovery and I'll end up healthier or I'll end up with my degree or whatever, right?
Can you see where he's trying to put other tools in the tool belt? And like, let's say you just need a hammer, a saw, and a tape measure to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's trying to give you the screwdriver, the T-square, the
drill bits, all
the other stuff, and not in case it doesn't go the way you want to, but to help you go the way that he wants it to.
Well, and I think that he realizes on some level that even if everything goes exactly how you want it to, right? Exactly how you want it to. You come to Nebraska. Let's say you want to play for 3 years and go to the NFL. And then you want to play in the NFL for 12 years. That's a great career. That's multiple contracts, right? That's that long money we're talking about here. Let's say you're Levante David. Like, let's say your career.
So you're going super best case scenario.
Yeah, I'm saying like it goes exactly how you want it to. At some point, Levante David is going to need the other tools in the tool belt. At some point, right? Ndamukong Suh at some point needed the other tools in the tool belt. And whether it's the businesses that he's investing in or the construction company stuff that he does or whatever, right? Like that money, the NFL money, whatever it is, the NFL career doesn't last forever unless you have the other tools, right? It can give you enough money to have a really nice head start. But most people are going to need the other tools unless you're Tom Brady, who made enough money that he didn't really have to have any other tools. But unless you're Tom Brady, you're going to need other tools in your tool belt to figure out, okay, how do I make this money last me for the rest of my life? How am I in a good position to be a good husband, father, person, whatever, pillar of the community, whatever, right? At some point, it ends, and you have to have other things that you're equipped for. And how many times do we see guys don't? We hear all these tragic stories about what happens to guys when they retire, or they run out of money, or they have problems at home,
or just being kind of a whole person too. I think,
or they're just depressed, right? They have no fulfillment in their life because they don't know what else to do now, That's what we're talking about here. And if you can get guys, and I know it's really, really hard at 18 years old to see that picture when you're 35 or 40 and saying this is what matters, because the football stuff, there's a lot of places that can get you to the NFL. There's a lot of places to get you to the NFL, especially if you're a good player.
Did you hear Kirby Smart in his presser the other day?
Not all of it.
Talking about he had guys stand up and raise their hand that had been through 3 or more spring practices.
Mm-hmm.
And how barely anybody raised their hand, and how he had a young team, and the standard isn't really the standard right now because guys don't know how to practice and they're getting tired. And he said they're not responsive to coaching. And I thought it was interesting that at this stage in his career with what they had built, that the culture isn't taking over.
Sure. But when you've got this much movement, it's hard.
It just to hear it from the other side. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, because there was a moment.
I was captivated.
You've told me about this, right? There was a moment in 96 when you're sitting there, and that culture in 92, 93, 94, 95 was pretty set, right? 93, 94, 95, pretty set, right? And then you get to 96.
2 was
and you've told me there's stuff as leaders you wish you would have done differently.
Yeah.
Right?
I was pretty honest about that.
So even in that situation where like that looked as 94, 95 especially, that looked as rock solid as a culture as we'll ever see, right? And you go and just 1 year removed, and this is pre-transfer portal.
Yeah.
Just 1 year removed, there was enough erosion in terms of just guys, right? Enough of the guys that were important to that culture left, just moving on to the next part of their career, that there was a little gap. There was a little gap in that. Now you add in a transfer portal. You add in Georgia, where you've had a ton of guys. I mean, as many guys leaving Georgia for the NFL that were leaving Nebraska for the NFL at the time, plus the transfer portal. It's really easy for me to see how, like, if you don't have enough connective tissue left, like, there's no structure. There's no culture left.
And
it can happen fast.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to butcher it. But he talks about having a house versus a home.
Mm-hmm. Coach Rhule?
Yes.
Yeah. You brought this up to me before.
And how he wants to make Nebraska a home. Mm-hmm. He said anyone can have a house.
Yeah, it's just a place you live.
We're building a home.
This is what to return to.
This is what we want in our home.
Mm-hmm.
And sure as I'm sitting here, it's just intentional. It's going to be the way that he's going to combat and attract transfers.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the way that he can still go out and recruit at high school. What did he just slide in the other day when he said, hey, if you're a guy that doesn't really care that you'll have to go back and get something or change something that you've told a potential recruit, sure, knock yourself out during this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be a little more careful so we don't have to apologize, so we can be the people that we said we are. Because he knows, like, the countermeasures to beating the tests are in how calm, cool, and collected you could be leading up to it.
It sounds so simple and honestly kind of stupid, but he's said this before about just coaches being who they say they are. Like, that's the cheat code to the transfers, right? Because, and it sounds so dumb and too simple, right? It sounds, and again, this is a simple versus easy thing. It sounds too simple to just say, hey, if we tell you this, this is what's going to happen. Yeah. If we say you're going to get this amount of money, that's the amount of money you're going to get. If we say you're going to have this opportunity, X, Y, and Z, that's the truth. If we say, hey, you'll be on the 105, you'll be on the 105.
And what did he say? He put himself on the clock, right, up against the wall. He said, now, if you said, I don't trust this guy, he's lied to me.
He said, all right, go ahead.
He's like, okay, I get it.
All bets are off, right?
Yeah.
How many guys do you think that's actually true of?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, none, probably.
It's, I mean.
Now, he may have told some guys things they didn't want to hear.
But I thought it was interesting because there's power in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, sometimes.
Not just power, there's freedom in that.
Yeah, well, sometimes if I'm telling a story, it's conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll say, hey, you know, stop me when I tell a lie.
Yeah.
If you don't stop me,
mm-hmm.
or I'm telling you the story, then that's letting you know you got to take some ownership and kind of what's going on out here.
Yeah.
And I think he left himself open to, man, you didn't, James isn't going to say you didn't tell me the truth. Bear isn't going to say you didn't tell me the truth.
Do you think anybody that's left would say that it's because Coach Rhule didn't tell him the truth? Anybody?
No.
Right? Everybody left for other reasons. A little bit more money over here, a little bit better opportunity over there. Like, I get why Danny Kaelin moved on.
Yeah, me too.
Opportunity.
I told you, I'm not.
Right? Don't have any problem with it.
None.
Totally understand. He wanted a chance. And this is why I brought up the opportunity thing early on as a thing that I sort of get conflicted about, right? Because I look at a guy like Danny Kaelin, and Danny Kaelin probably looks at it, he goes, okay, I'm in the same class as Dylan Raiola. I'm probably not going to get a chance to play.
Yeah. So the byproduct of that?
Even if he's super competitive, right?
Did you catch when he went into the two camps and he said there'll be some guys that just aren't going to be good enough, and they're going to say, hey, I just want to be here? Mm-hmm. Well, he said, well, we'll have to weigh that decision.
Yeah.
Right? Which lets me know you still have a job to do. You still have to perform in such a way.
Absolutely.
Where you're giving me at least the inkling that you're trying.
But they're going to tell him the truth in that situation too.
100%.
Right? That's why I brought up the 105. They told the guys that weren't going to be on the 105, and earlier than they had to, right? Because I'm sure Coach Rhule had an inkling that they might try and taper this thing, right? Because a lot of other people did. Now, but he wanted to be fair to those guys and say, hey, you're probably not going to make it. Right now, you're on the outside looking in. Or, hey, you're fighting for one of those spots, but I can't make any guarantees. Or, hey, you're going to be on the 105, right? That's a situation where some of the guys told him, hey, I'm at Nebraska till you kick me out, right? Or some of the guys said,
one guy told him that, and I think he's going to end up playing. They tried to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He just wasn't having it.
And then you have other guys
who's going to play
that are like, okay, I'm going to take this to go move on and try and find other opportunities. Yeah. And I don't begrudge them for that either, right? That's why, like, I sit here and I go, listen, I love competition. I love it when there's
So I got something for you.
Yeah.
On that. Do you know what I think he's ultimately talking about?
What's that?
This may be a reach.
Okay.
So, I mean, feel free to give pushback.
Mm-hmm.
I think the environment in which those guys are practicing, it trims its own fat.
Sure.
So it is so competitive within those position groups. Like, those guys know when they're not meeting the standard. That's the point that they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I saw it first with the O-line. O-line reveals itself. Listen, well, if you're the one that's not
mess around,
if you're the one that's not like the others,
yeah,
it reveals itself. So you got options. You can either go find something else different to do,
yeah,
or keep grinding. And if you keep grinding, see, they'll know.
And there's some.
And you know where else you're starting to see it?
Where's that?
In the secondary,
defensive backs room. Yeah,
in the secondary,
which is not a place you would typically identify as where that would happen.
No, but that's the three guys. Guys.
Yeah.
Listen, that's Snow. There's Addison Williams, and that's Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the standard is clearly the standard. So, like, you don't want to get to the point where you take yourself out, but you do want to get to the point where you say, man, that's on me. Right? I didn't start running plays out 45, 50 yards routinely until it was so awkward that I was one of the only three that wasn't.
Yeah. There's some, and there's a negative connotation to this term, but there's some peer pressure that could be positive there about, like, hey, do it the right way. Knock it off.
That's how you want it.
Yeah.
That's
there
how you want it.
There has to be some internal pressure from your peers to say, hey, that's not how we do things, right? We always talk about peer pressure as a bad thing. We're like, oh, they're trying to convince me to do this. Sometimes it's, hey, this is how it works here. Either get on board or get out.
Yeah. And then you eventually get to the point
where it weeds itself out a little bit.
Where Singleton or Buford or somebody can say, hey, that away, young buck, or Teddy Prohaska can cheer on Segrin and say, listen, man, that a boy.
Yeah.
So it's different than when Dylan does it with Gramstad, but it's the same with regards to Dylan doesn't have to do it because he's established, but he still wants the best for you.
Yes.
Even though it's kind of independent of him.
Yeah.
It's really no different in the desired outcome of when I want the best for you, and it can totally affect me.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? It's still birthed out of me wanting the best for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want. If you're this is going to sound crazy. That's how you win 14-10 games on Saturday. It isn't. Some of it is talent because you have to be in the position.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's nut cutting time, and you don't want to full-fledged wet the bed, it has to be about something other than you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. Down 17-9 wasn't talent. Down at the half against Wyoming wasn't talent. Right? We were playing like poop, right? But who wanted to be the next guy to let the next guy down?
Yeah.
That's how you got to think. And when they get to that point where you can truly sharpen iron, even though you're going to get a few sparks, that stuff will go away.
I mean,
and he does it with the staff, man. Like, this dude is relentless.
I sit here and I think about the games that Nebraska's lost over the course of 10 years or whatever, right? And I think about the times that I go, yeah, that team was just better. It's not most of them, right? Especially the close ones, right? There's been times where, Ohio State or Michigan or somebody kicks Nebraska's teeth in. You're like, that team's a lot.
You've only seen it a handful of times.
Right. But there's a handful where you're like, oh, man, that team's just better right now. But the team that won the national championship last year and Nebraska looked an equal to them on the field for 90% of that game didn't look like that was a big talent issue. I watch them lose to a mediocre Iowa team, and I don't go, nah, that's a talent issue. I don't see all the losses to, some of the Wisconsin teams are pretty good, but some of them not a talent issue. Most of the Iowa losses, not a talent issue. Illinois losses, not a talent issue. Minnesota, certainly not a talent issue. I can go through every team in the league, basically. I mean, Nebraska's lost some to Purdue and Northwestern. You think that's a talent issue? I don't care. Like, I will say this blanketly as a blanket statement. There's never a situation where Northwestern or Purdue is going to be more talented than Nebraska. Mm-hmm. I feel comfortable saying that till the day I die, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. But Nebraska's been losing games to teams like that. That is not a talent issue. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about, okay, what do you do? What does your team do? What does your position group do when something starts to go wrong? Is it okay? Is it culturally okay in that room to be the guy that makes the next mistake? Yeah. Or is it culturally expected in that room that you're going to step up now? That's the difference.
I know that's how you're going to win close games.
Yeah. And they're going to have to start to.
I do, because they'll be in several of them.
Got to keep watering the bamboo.
Yeah, got to keep watering that bamboo.
One of the greatest voices alive.
That's what they're always talking about. Let's come back here. Let's make some NBA picks. See what we got going on.
It's going to be tough.
It is. I'm not going to hold you to these as locks.
Beholden?
Because
well,
I know.
I'll give you. I got one NBA.
Ooh,
Let's see what I can find with MLB. MLB is not easy.
It's easier than the NBA. The NBA is a crap.
Keep track of the MLB record. It'll be sensational.
We'll see what we do here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. More Hurrdat Sports Live. Go to them next.
I'm sure you'll talk about this, but I think so many of the young kids here today, us included, want to know that first step. What would be your advice for people and students just finding that first step to find their footing?
I think the most important thing to start with is what are you passionate about? Mm-hmm. So for me, I was passionate about sports, and I love everything to do with sports. I loved everything with women's sports. So I've been able to really tailor my career to some very specific things, college football, women's sports, because those were my passions. So I would say identify your passion, what do you care about? And you'll know, you know when time passes and you're not even thinking, you don't feel like you've worked a day in your life. That's what you should pursue. But then I would also say try on a lot of different hats in that field. So I did radio, I did writing, I did television, I did studio anchor work. For me, I found I want to be at the game. So sideline reporting ended up being what I care about the most because I'm in the action. Mm-hmm. So I would say try on a lot of different roles in those things that you find that you are passionate about.
The Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball story is a story of growth and success. After getting to visit the team this fall and watching practice and talking with Coach G, I am confident in this team this year.
The best you is really dang good. I mean, it's really good. Okay? So just be that. No more, no less.
Lightning in my fingers, and I'm nice on my feet. Heavyweight big swinger, got you saying double while we're counting to three.
Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball are built for big moments.
Brace yourself.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla, reminding you your road to a new ride starts with Centris Federal Credit Union. Consistently voted best in Omaha for auto financing, their team of experts is ready to help get you in the driver's seat. Or maybe you're looking for a motorcycle, a recreational vehicle, whatever it is, they've got you covered. Your open road awaits. Contact Centris to get started online at centrisfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. DB.
Yes,
We've got some
sir.
We got some basketball coming up tonight.
We do.
Some NBA.
Yeah, you're gonna be all nervous.
I am nervous. I don't feel great.
On pine needles.
I used to live on Pine Street. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all I got.
Pine Street guy?
Yeah. I grew up on Pine Street.
Oh, well, it sounds like a good street.
It was solid, you know? Middle North neighborhood, so that helps.
Of course. It all boils down back to Millard North.
I mean, my Warriors are 7.5-point favorites tonight. I don't feel great there. 7.5 seems like a lot.
That's a big number.
It's a big number. I know that Memphis is dysfunctional, but as you mentioned, they are capable.
Yeah. Now they can score.
Yeah.
Are you worried about a spurt?
I'm worried about everything. I'm worried about age.
You're Nelly.
I'm worried about
Nelly.
I'm worried about athleticism on the Memphis side. I'm worried about a lot.
He's gonna be all right.
I'm worried about a lot.
Hey, do you think Anthony Edwards would be the best player in that series with the Lakers?
No.
Really?
No. No.
Well, I hope you're right.
I mean, come on. I know you don't love Luka, but come on, man.
You don't watch the Lakers.
No, I have. But
I'm gonna ask you one more time.
No, Anthony Edwards is not the best player in that series. He can be.
What, did you hear the question?
Yeah, you said, is he the best player in that series?
Is he going to be the best player in that series?
No. Again, capable, yes.
Okay.
Going to be, no. I mean, I would pick two Lakers.
For some reason, I feel like he has a 50 burger in him. Dude, we can't stop a soul. No rim protection.
He might have a 50 burger in him, but that doesn't mean he's going to be the best player in the series.
Okay.
Everybody can have a nice one-off. It's fine.
I hope you're right.
I would bet on two guys on the Lakers being the best player in that series before.
So you think Anthony Edwards will be the third best player in the series overall?
No. I think if I had to bet on best player in the series, there are two Lakers guys I would take before that. I don't necessarily think both of them will be better than Edwards.
Okay.
But I would bet on if you're giving me odds.
I'm terrified of the NBA.
Like if you're giving me,
it should be the non-betting association.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's tough out there.
Magic Land the 5 is safe as a kitten.
5.5.
Safe as a kitten.
Alrighty.
I think Pau Banchero is the best player in the NBA that
He's really good. He's really good.
When I say no one, I mean no one that no one talks about.
No, you're
this
exactly
is not
right.
hyperbole.
No, he gets
Banchero is sensational.
He flies under the radar. He's really, really good. So here's the thing that with Paolo that I noticed immediately last year when he got in the NBA. He looked so much more athletic when he got to Orlando than he did at Duke. He looked sort of plodding at Duke. I was like, what's happening here?
Nobody does less with 5 stars
than
in college than Duke.
But then he gets to the NBA. I was like, oh no, this guy's kind of freaky. Where did this come from?
All the 2010s going for you with more 5 stars than anybody in the free
I
world.
thought he looked more like Jabari Parker at Duke than he did.
No, Jabari was nice. I'm
he
not
was
going to stand
nice,
for
but
that
he didn't.
slander.
He wasn't a freak.
Wow.
He was a nice ball player, but he wasn't freaky athletic. And then
You
Paolo,
said ball player like you're 70.
he's a good ball player.
That's
Go play some ball.
That's a DB. That's an old people's term.
Well, I like ball players, you know.
It's a good ball player.
Good ball player. No, Paolo's a freak. Paolo's great.
Yeah,
really good.
I like the 5.
I'm certainly taking Paolo over Trey. I'm not a Trey guy.
Yeah. But you know he's capable of just going ham.
He is, but he can go ham and probably still lose.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what Trey does.
And
He's got a little LaMelo in him.
I want you to take John Tallman's Rangers tonight.
The Rangers. What do we got? What do we got with MLB
The
tonight?
Rangers.
Home on the Rangers.
Yeah, your boy. Don't call me Vic Kikuchi on the bump for the Angels.
I'm sorry, who?
And
Oh, you didn't know?
I take the Rangers.
Got Corbin going
No.
for the Rangers.
Is Corbin going tonight?
Looks like it.
I thought Molly was going.
You change your mind if it's Corbin?
No.
Still Rangers. Plus,
Although it should be, if it is Corbin, it should be more.
it's minus 125.
I don't think he's not going tonight. I think Molly's going tonight.
ESPN's lying to me then.
Yeah, I think Molly's going tonight.
Let me make sure I've got the day right. I'm on Tuesday, April 15th, tax day.
To this day.
But by the way,
I've got Corbin going.
I have the craziest hiccup.
Uh-oh.
So I tried to, obviously yesterday, and I have a super. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can say this out loud. I don't really care, but so it got rejected twice. Tried to file electronically, and it got red flagged. So if somebody knows about this, man, hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
There's some health market deal.
Okay.
Where it says that I applied.
Mm.
And so you need to 1095A this thing because it's coming up as I need to do something with it. But I've never applied for health market.
Weird.
Ever.
Yeah.
So we're scrambling. Yesterday I called him. I was on hold for 13 minutes. Put my AirPod in. I lost it. Just pissing me off. And the guy goes, I said, hey, this came back. It's red flagged.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do some paperwork with this. And he said, and he paused. I go, let me guess. This isn't the first time that you've had this. Because what happens is people apply for health, the benefits, and then you either get a kickback or whatever, right? And so he said, I get 5 to 6 calls Monday through Friday over this very same thing. And it's happened since February of 2023 up until now. So I'm going to call them back and make sure that I'm not in the system again.
Yeah.
And my only real option is to just mail it in.
Yeah.
And hope that they don't kick it back to me.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's postmarked by the 15th.
Yeah, I don't know why I would become. I mean, was there some sort of? Apparently, it's a fraud deal.
Probably, yeah. Usually, so here's what I'm guessing is, having worked in this world a little bit, not in this specific realm, but I'm guessing people use it as sort of a test if like some of your information got compromised, but not all of it, and they're trying to piece together like a fake identity. Then they will use the health market as sort of a test to see if it gets accepted, as opposed to like going to a bank and applying a loan where that sets off more red flags and alarm bells. The health market, I'm guessing, is a pretty safe place in terms of trying to test out fake identities or synthetic identities without it setting off financial institutional alarm bells.
So if anybody else has gone through that, help me.
Help me.
Help me. Like Rhonda.
Rhonda? Who's Rhonda?
Is that the Beach Boys, Shane?
That is the Beach Boys, yes. Help me, Rhonda.
Never seen that song? Heard that song?
I've heard a lot of Beach Boys. That one's not ringing a bell.
I'm wondering why you're getting Corbin tonight.
I don't know. That's what the internet's telling me. That's what ESPN's telling me.
If it's Corbin, it should be way more than that, and so I don't love it. But I'm pretty sure it's Molly.
Okay, maybe ESPN's off. It's possible.
Miley Cyrus.
What?
That's anti. She
Miley,
is.
Yeah, Miley is.
But
so is
the
Corbin.
guy that said Miley.
Sure.
The antithesis.
Antithesis?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Of opposite.
Who was it? I don't remember. Was it Billy Ray?
No. There's your commercial with Seal.
No, it was somebody. It wasn't somebody like Charles or Magic Johnson.
Yes,
or somebody.
it's Barkley.
Billy Ray Charles
is Billy Ray Charles. Who's Billy Ray Charles?
I was doing a Ray Charles and a Billy Ray Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
It was Barkley. Miley.
Billy Ray Charles Barkley.
Just knock it off. Let me see what my man TK said.
All right, so those are your locks for the day. We've got Texas.
It's the first political thing TK's ever said to me.
Texas minus 125, and you like Orlando minus the 5.5.
Yeah.
Those are your locks of the day. Hook 'em?
I would. I mean, the hook is fine.
Hook 'em?
Watch them win by 5. Everybody's mad at OD bait.
I saw somebody the other day at Oklahoma City hit like a $10,000 half court shot. First thing he did, horns down. I was like, "You're in a Thunder game, man."
Did he step over the line?
I don't know. Allegedly, he got paid. I don't know.
Better team for you, OKC or Cleveland?
OKC.
They're built kind of similar, though, aren't they?
They are. I really like Chet, and I think Shea
Better than Mobley?
Yes, offensively for sure. Mobley's really, really good defensively, and I like Mobley a lot. This is not a hate on Mobley, but Shea greater than Donovan.
What about the backcourt as a whole with Garland and Mitchell?
I think I still take OKC. I think Caruso's a nice fit there in OKC. I think they've
big headband guy,
huge headband guy. keeps the sweat out of my glasses.
Pickleballs and headbands.
That's TV. I'm Ravi, Lulla, Hurrdat Sports Live. Coming next.
You know, I'm getting my information for the most part, kind of where you guys get information. Like I'm following Ross Dellinger basically every day. You know, so it's kind of like when you guys asked me about this, you know, the Colorado Syracuse spring game. I was like, I'll wait and see what happens. It's kind of like that, right? Now, I was in Big Ten meetings early on where I was a major proponent of grandfathering people in. even if you went like 120, 115, 110, 105, or 150, I know some of the conferences had some concerns about that, and I think part of the reason why they had concerns was, hey, what if all these teams start scholarshiping 120 guys, then there's not less guys for everyone else. Let me just say this first. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving kids money to go to college, paying for kids to go to college, right? Like putting guys on scholarship. I mean, there's going to be enough players to go around. So I don't have those major concerns. And I think as we've moved forward and we've learned more about what the House settlement could be, again, I don't know what it is, what it could be. I think, the concerns about people just putting everyone on scholarship and hoarding players in the old days, the 70s of 150 scholarship players, I think that's kind of going away.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
For Hurrdat Sports and for Borsheim's, it is our big game chain player of the game, and it's Mikey Jensen of Papio South in a 5-1 win as Class A takes down Class B. Mikey, congrats. Big day for you. Started on the mound, and you got 6 strikeouts today. You're feeling it early. Had to deal with all this wind, but nonetheless, you had control from the get-go.
Yeah, yes we did. Could trust my curveball, and I just trust my defense to make the plays, get weak contact in the field, and have Danny in center field to catch those fly balls for me, and Donnie.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you to call my friends over at Midlands Family Urgent Care. They've got you covered. If you're trying to lose a little bit of weight, they can help you out. 402-810-9494. They help me out. It's fast and easy consultation, and they can get you on FDA-approved medication to help you lose weight. Give them a call, the Millard location, 402-810-9494. Okay, so
can I real quick rescind my actor?
Hey, they're still coming, so apparently everybody's catching up on the stream
or on
from this morning or the pod, and
well.
it's
I want to take Eddie Murphy out.
Okay.
And I want to put Samuel L. Jackson in because I can watch the MCU movies that he's in, 100 times.
So I brought up Robert Downey Jr. That gets you a lot of the MCU, and it gets you some other stuff. And Robert Downey's pretty good.
That's pretty good too.
This is gonna surprise you, but Robert Downey Jr.'s best role was in Ally McBeal.
What you get? You get
a lot of TV shows out. A lot of
you were
episodes.
to say his best role was Tropic Thunder.
That's incredible. I could watch Tropic Thunder and I'll laugh like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny show.
And I'm like, I mean, it's some stuff you would do too. You just go into character.
Who, me?
and just act like a fool and
What'd
be
I do?
super offensive.
No. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you know who's getting late run?
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
So Darwin said that, and I thought about Leo early, but I was trying to remember.
Is DiCaprio greater than Damon?
So not his filmography for me. I like more of Damon's movies. Now, DiCaprio is obviously great, but he's got fewer movies that I love. So this isn't really about quality as an actor so much as just what I like watching. And I like watching Matt Damon's movies more because I just get a little wider range of stuff.
Plus, if you only have sports and these two people's catalogs, that's got to occupy a lot of your time.
Yes. Also, like, I'm not watching stuff like The Revenant. I'm not doing that. Like, that's not a rewatch for me.
So
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's a movie that if I could just get through 2 hours, I loved the end. I watched The Revenant during COVID in the dark about 4:30 in the afternoon. It was snowing a little, and I was traumatized.
Yeah. There's a lot
Isn't that a one-time watch?
Yes.
Yes. 100. That's what I mean. Like, I
Yes.
feel like Leo's.
The Revenant is not something you go
I
back
mean,
to
if
revisit.
you're saying Saving Private Ryan's a hard watch twice, I mean, The Revenant.
Twice. KP was he watched it 20 times.
Well, so Darwin's like, I watched this thing 20 plus times. I'm like, whoa.
Wait, what movie?
Saving Private Ryan.
No way.
That's what he said on Twitter.
No, I mean, I'm not going to call him a liar.
Well, you kind of just did.
Oh, I didn't read it. That's why.
Oh, okay.
But then again, I've watched Saving Private Ryan. Like, I don't. So how does Saving Private Ryan end?
So spoilers.
Well, I mean,
I'm not going back to
the
get it.
beginning of the movie's tough.
Yeah,
it ends okay.
I saw guys just getting blown up like 4 minutes in. I'm like, who's like?
Yeah, there's
this
a
what
lot
we're on?
of heavy stuff in the movie. But I guess it ends sort of upbeat. I guess.
Oh, you going to watch Castaway again?
No, I'm not.
Not so much.
So,
You want me to go into character again about Wilson and B. Wilson?
yes, I would.
Dude, that was I was having a moment.
So there's one I'm looking up right now because I feel a little bad saying it.
I feel like a penguin.
I feel like a penguin. So can I make an argument? Can I make an argument for Matthew McConaughey? He's in some stuff I like a lot. I don't think there's enough of it.
Yeah.
But he's in some stuff I like a lot.
So a couple of the catalogs I'd take from McConaughey, I think are like really, really up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer's really good.
A Time to Kill.
Yeah. Some of the stuff he's in is phenomenal. I'm a huge Interstellar fan. That's one of my favorite movies. He's a bit part, but like Wolf of Wall Street's pretty watchable.
Do you know I've never seen that?
It's pretty good. Like it's raunchy, so I don't know how much you'd like it.
I mean, I got a lot of the, and I'm just telling you, it jumped the shark, but it had such potential. True Detective was incredible.
The first season was really good. The one with him was really good.
So
low-key movie that I liked a lot that he's in. Did you ever watch The Gentleman?
No.
Really good movie.
Was he the mobster?
Yeah, he's like a drug lord.
And he threatened to put the guy in the freezer. Or
Yes, yeah. You've seen it on TikTok probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
It's a really good movie. I like that movie a lot.
So what's it called?
The Gentleman.
Yeah, I might have to go back and get
It's a good movie. I like that movie a lot. There's a lot of stuff.
Because I'm not sure if I could transfer money in a freezer before you
before the finger starts to go.
Yeah, and that's what he told him too. He's like, yeah,
he's like, frostbite's gonna start to set in about 8 minutes. I would hurry. But no, his like high end stuff is really, really good. I don't know that there's enough of it, but I felt like he deserved being mentioned.
I don't know if it's cool to like him. I like Matthew McConaughey.
I do too. I think he's great. He's very watchable too.
Now, he never once made me want to buy a Cadillac, but
what about a Lincoln?
Is that it?
Yeah, he's a Lincoln guy. It was after the Lincoln Lawyer, he kind of like got into the Lincoln commercials.
He's got a little. The Texas thing would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. There's certain movies where he doesn't he kills the accent a little bit. Where's better?
I like Matthew McConaughey.
You should watch The Gentleman. It's a good movie.
It was on my algorithm.
Yeah, it's a good movie. His high end is really, really high. But I don't think there's enough I don't think there's enough depth there for me to pick him, but I wanted to make sure he got a shout out.
More run for Leo.
Leo's really good. I got to look up.
So he's coming on like gangbusters.
I got to look up the filmography, make sure I'm not forgetting some stuff. Because I do his high end is probably pretty good as well. That's where I thought of The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm probably not watching Django a bunch.
You watching Growing Pains a lot?
Django is a movie that I have seen multiple times.
It's a good movie. I've seen it multiple times too, but
it's also a good ending.
It is.
And I wanted to see Candy get his, and
but it's a little.
I wanted to see Samuel get his.
There are some stretches that are a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
100%.
So that's where like I've probably seen Django like 4 or 5 times.
I'm like that with all those movies though.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Hateful Eight?
I did not make it through it, but I tried.
Are you a Tarantino guy?
Yes, for the most part. More Chris Nolan over Tarantino, but I like Tarantino.
Hateful Eight was.
I mean, Glorious
There
Bastards.
were some stretches where I was like, "Why is this in this movie?"
Yes, I didn't make it through it.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah. Like it's tough.
There's some tough scenes where it's like, is anything good gonna happen?
That's sort of. I mean, that's a lot of Tarantino movies.
I made it through Kill Bill and I loved it.
Yeah, Kill Bill's great. I love Kill Bill. There's a lot of scenes in Tarantino movies where you're like your stomach churns a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Pulp Fiction's that way. Django's that way. Hateful Eight's that way. There's even some scenes in Inglourious Bastards that are a little rough.
TK is really trying to will me to watch Inglourious Bastards.
It's a good man. It's so probably if I had to go 3 most favorite movies of all time, I'm going Gladiator, Interstellar, and Inglourious Bastards off the top of my head.
Haven't seen it.
You've seen Gladiator.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
So my catalog changes. I mean, I'm a big Outsiders guy.
Yeah.
I love The Equalizer. I love Gladiator. I like 300. Big Menace to Society guy.
Mm-hmm.
Big Boys in the Hood guy. I like Lean on Me.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Yeah. Sam's was my dude.
There's not. So I'm looking.
I like The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I love The Town.
Oh, The Town's really good.
So Ben Affleck didn't. We went a whole show without Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I thought about Ben Affleck when somebody brought
The
up
Accountant was sensational.
When somebody brought up Matt Damon, I thought about Ben Affleck.
The Town, quietly.
The Town's really good.
Man,
which do you like better, The Town or The Departed? Have you seen The Departed?
Yeah, that's tough.
The Departed is really good too.
Have fun watching Justice League with that.
Enjoy
your time.
I'm going with The Town.
The Town's a little bit more succinct. Like it's a little.
I like the guy that played the captain. He's in the Oil movie with Billy Bob Thornton.
The Oil movie.
I just binged it. It's only 10 episodes.
Oh, John Hamm? No, that's a different guy.
Dark hair. He was the guy that was on the phone with Ben Affleck in The Town. He's the main cop trying to get him.
I mean, John Hamm is the FBI.
Then I
guy.
guess it's John Hamm.
Is
I
it?
don't know.
John
Go Hamm because I don't know if it's John Hamm. And then
he's in Landman.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's his boss.
Yeah, that's John Hamm.
Yeah,
That's John Hamm.
I like that dude.
Yeah, no, The Town's really, really good.
I mean, spoiler alert, he dies, but
Whoa, easy, man. No, The Town's really good. So is The Departed. The Town's a little bit easier of a watch. The Departed is heavy, drags a little bit. Ben Affleck's a good one. Like there's some sneaky, especially do you get his, we talked about this with Clint, do you get his directorial stuff?
yeah.
Because he's done some good stuff with as a director too.
And what's the movie that I like where he shoots the hoops off the cliff, and I think if he misses the rim, the ball's going to roll down into the beach?
For Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He's a coach overcoming and at the very end he's shooting
Way
on
Back?
like, yeah.
That's a pretty good movie. That one's kind of a downer
I'm like,
too.
man, if he misses the unit, his ball is gonzo.
It's gone forever. That movie's a little bit of a downer too, but it's a good movie.
I like
Ben Affleck's got some good ones. He's got some good ones. I'm not rewatching Gone Girl. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a tough hang.
movie is fantastic.
Great movie. I'm not rewatching it.
That movie is really, really good.
Yeah, that's a single watch for me though.
What about nah.
Who?
I like Daniel Craig too.
Oh, I do too. I don't think there's enough.
I don't know. You've seen the girl with the dragon tattoo?
I haven't. That felt a little dark for me.
Oh, it's extremely dark.
Yeah, I wasn't.
That's not that dark.
The girl with the dragon tattoo?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Are you kidding? I thought the Wikipedia was too dark. Oh,
Are you just not?
I think
Are you just bypassing the whole hotel scene? And,
No, I mean there's that.
Oh, no, that part. Like, we're
Yes.
just going to skip over the curb stomping part in American History X. Besides that, not that tough of a watch. Oh, also the shower scene, but it's fine. We're skipping that part over?
The girl with the dragon tattoo is extremely
dark.
Extremely dark.
My God, Shane.
The whole thing was predicated on.
Yes. Yeah. Like,
On what? Tell me.
Shane, I think you might need to go to therapy if you don't think that movie's very dark.
Is a different kind of 2-lane trafficking than what's out there.
Tulane? Nico?
Knock it off.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. A little more Hurrdat Sports Live tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.